Good morning, Top Shot Nation. I am LG Doucette from the First Mint, and I'm here to host this third and final pack drop for Seeing Stars. You might know me or recognize my voice from a podcast and that you may have listened to about NBA Top Shot, but today we're going to do a very special show where we are going to talk about everything that's going on with this Seeing Stars pack, with all the stuff that's been going on the last couple of days, about all the new packs, about the All-Stars, as well as discuss the upcoming drop tomorrow. We're also going to be joined by some very special friends from around the community, some of my co-hosts from the Friday Night Mint that you may know very well, like the Real Phil D and the PlungeFather, as well as a few other very special community members. And we are going to be here for the next couple of hours hosting you guys, taking some of your questions. I know a lot of the new folks and even some of the old folks, some of the veterans have been around for a while. I know you guys got a lot of questions. You know, what do I got to do with these packs? Should I be flipping? Should I be buying? Should I be doing this KD challenge? When's the LeBron one going to come? We got all these questions and we got a little while together. So we are going to go through all of those and chat through them. We're just about, I think, 2 minutes away from that pack drop. So we'll kind of get going around then. But for now, I'll just kind of give you guys a quick rundown of what's been going on in Top Shot in the last little bit, as well as what you can expect today on the stream, which we just kind of went through. But again, we'll kind of go through it. So in the last couple of weeks, obviously, we've seen a huge influx of new people coming into Top Shot, which is great. Everybody who's new, welcome to Top Shot. It's great to have you here. Obviously, as you've seen on the pack drops, there are quite a lot of people who want these packs, and that's okay. Demand is good. And even sometimes there's still not enough to go around, and that's totally fine. What we're seeing now, we're seeing a kind of tiered up backdrop system. So we're seeing 3 different backdrops, as you know, over the last 24 hours. A very interesting system, honestly, in my opinion. And I think I've talked about this on our podcast and on our show, is that, you know, maybe that's a bit more of an organized and orderly way to kind of get these packs out. Easier to maybe do fewer packs at once, but I'm sure in the future, Top Shot is going to be able to do tons more packs at the same time. Don't quote me on that. I'm speculating. I'm the media, so that's what I do. But again, you know, this will be our third and final pack drop of the Seeing Stars set. So that'll put most of them that are going out into the marketplace and into the ecosystem. This will be their final release. Other stuff you may have seen around Top Shot is the Kevin Durant Seeing Stars Challenge. Oh, looks like this drop might be live. So for those folks who are in the chat, please let me know if you guys are getting your spots in line and if you're getting randomized into that queue. Again, for those that are new, the way these pack drops work is that if you've joined the waiting room by now, you are now being randomized into what is probably another very large queue, because again, there's a lot of demand, and today's Saturday. A lot of people got the day off and they want to come in and get their first pack. So there's going to be quite a few of you lining up for it. Again, how these work, it doesn't matter how early you got into the waiting room, which has been open for about 20 minutes now. That doesn't really matter how early you got in there. Everybody gets a fair chance once that timer expires, which I believe now it has finally expired. Okay, seeing some numbers come up. Okay, seeing some high numbers. That's okay, guys. There's going to be plenty more packs to come at some point. If you got a high number, if you are anywhere below 100K, I would recommend kind of hanging out in the line just a little bit, because again, there are a lot of buyers, potential buyers, who do drop out at different times. So if you are just a couple thousand or maybe a couple dozen thousand above that, again, there's no guarantee here. So, you know, if you wait for a little while and you don't get one, you know, I mean, don't blame me. I'm just trying to help you. But again, this, you know, there is a lot of demand, as you can tell. There's a lot of people lined up, but I think there is a bit of comfort in the fact that a lot of everybody who's been able to get a pack so far is not able to get into this queue, which I wasn't sure if that was going to happen or not, as we were talking on the last couple of days, whether or not that would happen. So if anybody who's gotten a pack in the last 2 days or yesterday and already in this drop, they won't be able to actually get one this time. So know that all the people ahead of you are in fact genuine people. They're not people just trying to line up a second time. I'm seeing some of these numbers pour in. So again, reminder that some of the numbers ahead of you might drop out. You know, I saw some people yesterday who were number like, I don't know, 63, 64, 65,000 in line, actually end up getting one. So again, not a good idea to kind of leave the line if you are pretty close to that cutoff. However, there should be a system now where you can, you know, instruct Dapper to send you an email notification for when your time comes up in line. So if you do have that high number, or also if you have a low number, if you have like a 40 or 50,000, you can just hang out and put in that email notification. I believe the pack buying window is now either 10 or 20 minutes. So once you get that email, keep an eye out for that email, but you will be able to get notified and come in and buy. So you can just, leave your phone or your computer open elsewhere and kind of have it ready for when it's time to buy. I'm seeing some high numbers in line here. Again, guys, I know some people are saying that, you haven't been able to get one, but again, this, we have a huge demand here. There's a lot of people that want this stuff. So, if you're getting a high number in line, again, know that there's a lot of people who've been in the same situation as you. The demand for Top Shot has exploded in the last couple months. So there are so many people coming in who want some of these packs. Obviously, they're very hot packs. The expected value on these on the marketplace is quite high. So again, don't get discouraged. If you have that huge number in line, if you got like number 100,000 or something like that, that's okay. Know that there will be many, many, many more pack drops to come, as well as a lot of other base packs, guys. Don't forget, like this new series of base moments of S2. There's like 156 of them total. Some of them have started to be distributed in these, but as you've seen, there are 35,000 mints for some of these moments. So if you start to scale that, if you do a bit of the math, that means there are literally millions of moments coming out sometime very soon, and that those will be put into packs. We might see another big round of base packs sometime soon. Again, speculation. Everything I'm saying on the stream is speculation from the first minute. It is not official information from NBA Top Shot. So please take that with a grain of salt. But know that there are going to be a lot of other packs coming, and that if you have still not gotten a pack, that there have been a lot of people in the same boat as you. Anyways, we've got a few really great guests on the show today. The first one I'm going to bring into the stream is somebody you've probably seen. If you've watched our Friday night shows, you've definitely seen a lot of him. He's a very animated co-host of mine, also somebody that I have known literally for my entire life. He is also not our last guest to come on the show today. We will be joined by another one in a few minutes. But for now, I'm going to bring in the first guest of the day, my brother, the real Phil D. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to play our fun intro that we do because he's never got one.
Was overwhelming, LG. I can't believe I got the intro that all our guests.
What's amazing is that crowd's been there since last night. They've been there for 15 hours or for 17 hours now. So hold on, I'm just getting this out.
I think that crowd's been there since pre-COVID by the looks of it.
That looks like. Well, I always said that maybe they're in Australia. Wow, this is our second show in what seems like 12 hours or 16 hours. How you feeling?
Hey, listen, when you're in the Top Shot, I'll tell you one thing. You lose a lot of hours of sleep. You probably don't sleep. I know you barely sleep. I mean, the first mint is tweeting out stuff day and night. I mean, there's stuff at 2 or 3 in the morning, at 5 in the morning, at 7 in the morning. It is time consuming, but it's a lot of fun. There are not too many people out there saying they're not having fun.
You're a big part of that. If people want to know, get a little bit of behind the scenes of the first mint, know that the real Phil D does occasionally tweet on our behalf. He does tag himself in those posts. So when you see info thanks to Phil D, that is actually him tweeting. Obviously we're not a decentralized Twitter account. So there's only so many people with access, but Phil D is behind some of those tweets occasionally. So, and also another little secret is that in Twitter, you can actually schedule tweets. So some people thinking that I tweet at like 3 a.m, that's not true. That's actually, I do get sleep occasionally. So that's okay. Phil D, the biggest question, and this came up yesterday, is do you have a good spot in line now or not?
I've received a ton of DMs. I'm afraid to reveal this, but I've already revealed it on Twitter. If you go at the real Phil D, you will see my spot in line. It's not looking good. I mean,
oh no!
But hold on, it's the best number I've had now in 2 or 3 days, or since the last few drops. So I am optimistic.
Oh my God, you're 80,000.
Listen, the furthest I've been back, and this is for everybody in line who's kind of giving up. If you're far back in line, don't give up. I always stay in the lines until that message that says the line has ended or the drop has ended. I don't leave the line because one time I was 7,000 or 8,000 behind the estimated number of packs. And I ended up getting a pack because I guess some people fell asleep or some people forgot to come back on or they just left it on. Kind of hoping for that too today, but good lesson for everybody. do not leave the line, no matter where you are. You never know what's ahead of you. I always say you may have some absolute randoms that are only there for a quick pack grab. And if not, they might not be there in 2 hours when it's your turn. So stay in that line.
That's it, right? And we've seen that happen before. And again, like I'm saying, it's tough if you're not able to get, you're not getting a good spot in line. But even if this one doesn't work out, there will be many more, and that's okay. And Phil, you were so mad last night where you weren't getting a good spot, but now I like that attitude. You're feeling good. You're way more positive beat this morning, even though you're still kind of numbered out of the line. So that's okay. That's totally fine.
You have to be optimistic. And again, a lot of new people get frustrated because they can't get packs, but there's many ways to get into this. LG, when I started, I think I only bought one pack in my first 3 or 4 weeks, and I was still able to build a really nice collection by working the marketplace and having a bit of fun with players that I enjoy watching. I'll probably be a bit angry later if I don't get one, but for now, I'm optimistic. It's Saturday. It's early Good. Saturday. We still have the whole weekend ahead, and they announced more packs tomorrow. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's going to be an even harder one because there's only 32,000 of them. So that's not so easy. We've got another guest coming up. And just before we get to her, I'm just going to quickly recap who we are for those that don't know, because I know we have a lot of viewers today who, are new to Top Shot and maybe haven't heard of what we do. So I'm LG Doucette. I'm from the First Mint. We are a Twitter channel and podcast and streaming channel where we cover everything that's NBA Top Shot. We do analytics. We do some very helpful educational information and also just general guidance, general nice voice. And we talk about some really fun stuff in the NBA Top Shot community. We have 2 podcasts per week. They come out on Mondays and Wednesdays. Typically, the Wednesday one features a very high-end or OG collector of the community who shares some of their tips, and we've got a lot of other great guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. On the Monday show, it's just a typical market update, and usually we have somebody else from the First Mint Network to talk about some in-depth numbers or strategy or stuff to look out for. And then on Fridays, last night we did our last one, our most recent one. We do a live show where we have a lot of different guests from the community, and the live shows typically get a little bit out of hand. Last night was another great example where Josh Hart, the NBA player, made a surprise appearance and ended up trading some Boy Scout badges for a moment. He ended up getting the Boy Scout badges. We're going to talk to you about that in a minute. We're going to show the clip a little later on in the show. But no, follow us on the First Mint on Twitter. Follow me, LG Doucette, and follow the Real Phil D. Follow all of us to get a lot of great NBA Top Shot information, because we live and breathe this stuff. So, if you're looking to stay in touch with what's going on and kind of understand how the pack drops work and the challenges work, we are a great source to follow, along with many other people in the community.
LG, I have to stop you there. You're not giving yourself enough credit here, okay? People don't know this, but you are, a lot of people know this, a lot of people don't. You are actually the Woj of the Top Shot community. The stuff that you break on the First Mint account is way ahead of everybody else most of the time. Again, you can't be awake 24/7, but you usually have either a good inkling or an inside scoop where you're ahead of people. People think it's the First Mint, but it's actually LG Doucette. So the new saying is the LG Doucette bombs.
It doesn't have a good ring to it. We'll have to come up with something else, but I appreciate that, Phil D. The L bombs. The L bomb is pretty good, yeah. And a lot of people think that I saw in some Discords and stuff like that, people are like, well, he's obviously an insider. And I just want you guys to know that it's like, no, I actually just have like 5 screens set up here with like auto refresh every 30 seconds on like literally every place that could have new information, including like Top Shot Explorer. So it's like, I literally just like see information at the right place at the right time and then tweet it. Which has turned me into the Top Shot Woj. Other than one time I was on Clubhouse with some of the folks from I think from ESPN during one of their live shows on Clubhouse, talk about basketball. And Jacob came on and he announced to that group and to me the run it back news that Shaq and AI and McGrady would be coming to Top Shot soon. So that was a bit of a Woj bomb that he kind of softballed me, but otherwise he kind of told about 200 or 500 other people at the same time. So it wasn't too exclusive. Anyways, I want to get to one of our first guests. So this is a guest I've been wanting to have on for a while. She's done some great work, some great tweets, and just generally putting some great information out there about the NBA Top Shot. She knows a lot about basketball, and Phil, you're going to enjoy. We're going to have a great conversation about college basketball with her as well. So I can't wait to get into that, because we had a great one yesterday with Top Shot Cat. Everybody, welcome to the stage to both the NBA Top Shot Twitch and for her First Mint appearance, Tamara Top Shot. Wow. Our crowd just does not, they are relentless. They're so stoked, Tamara, to finally have you. I think that is all your Twitter followers in one spot. I think they're all there. They're all there and ready.
Like 530.
That might change after today.
Yeah, there's going to be a few more for sure. Tamara, like the main question everybody has to answer, they come on. Have you gotten a Seeing Star pack? And if not, what's your spot in line?
I got one. Yes, I got one in the second round yesterday. Okay. The first round, I was spot like 188,000, and I just clicked out. I was like, I don't even know.
Whoa!
No,
that's a record.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I never.
I feel a bit better now.
Yeah.
But then last night I was 1,000 something, so that was nice.
Great.
And that was my first pack in like 3 weeks, so.
Wow. Really okay. Yeah. See that, everybody in the chat. Everybody's mad about not getting packs. Even someone named Tamara Top Shot doesn't get a pack for 3 weeks. Okay. So this is just what it happens. There's tons of people who want Top Shot. It's the hottest thing. So there's just going to be a lot of people. It's okay. We get the frustration, but thanks for sharing that experience, Tamara. What did you get? What did you get in that pack? That's what we want to know.
My Seeing Star was James Harden. Oh. And then I also, which I'm excited about because my team on the website is the Nets and I'm moving to Brooklyn soon. So I was excited to get that. And then I got Jaylen Brown and Paul George. So I thought that was pretty solid.
Hey, wow. That's pretty loaded. Good. That's pretty loaded for the commons. What serials are you looking at?
My serial number for James Harden was 4,271. And then the other two were like in the 20,000s.
Hey, it doesn't matter with those players.
These new numbers, like up to 35,000. That's pretty crazy.
I've really become a huge fan of Jaylen Brown. And this is one of the weirdest things. And Phil, maybe you'll hate me for this, but we're Raptors fans. And through that playoff series last year, and it's usually the opposite. When you play another team, usually, kind of grow disdain for you don't like the players on the other team after that series. But the Celtics, there's not, after that series, I was like, I wasn't happy about a lot of them. But with Jaylen Brown, I was like, you know what? Like, he's kind of a killer. Like, I wish he was like, he's just so effective. He's got, he's a PER darling to a lot of people. And I was just like, Jaylen Brown, like I want him to get more credit, right? Because Tatum seems to get, be seen as like the leader, or at least the superstar on the team. But it's like, I don't think they'd be very far without Jaylen either, right? I think he's such an integral part of that team. So,
LG, do you have any inside info that Jaylen Brown is in the queue for this drop or something? if so, might as well just give your Top Shot username and all right,
welcome to the stage. Not Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I wish. Jaylen Brown, if you're listening right now, you are more than welcome to pop into the first minute, into the NBA Top Shot Twitch stream. We'd love to have you. Rudy Gobert was on last night, not on our show, but on this Twitch stream. But no, I don't have any Jaylen Brown insider info. Two players was plenty enough yesterday for interactions. So yeah. Tamara, tell us more about, we were talking the other day, you were telling me about, you referred to it as finally picking a team in the NBA. Let's talk more about that.
Yeah, I moved to New York in 2019 and I didn't know what team to pick. I went to a Knicks game, had a blast, and then I was going to go to a Nets game, but it was like a week after everything just totally closed down. So I didn't get to go, but now that I'm moving back to New York and I'm moving to Brooklyn, like I had to pick the Nets. Like that would be ridiculous if I didn't pick the Nets. But I do also follow the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. The Grizzlies because 3 of the 4 Duke players from my year at Duke play on the Grizzlies now. So like, how can I not support them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a good pick with Brooklyn. I think it's very convenient for you that, you're moving there and that you're picking them and you're picking them at this time. Maybe a couple of years ago wouldn't have been so hot, right? But
no, the tickets, I remember the tickets used to be so cheap compared to the Knicks tickets. And I tried to look for some when I went on my trip. And granted, it's only, I think, 10% capacity, but I think for the Magic game, I saw 2 tickets for $1,000. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going.
That's all right. Does that make you more inclined to buy Brooklyn Nets players on the marketplace in Top Shot? Is that kind of how that works for you?
Not necessarily, no. I actually don't even have that many Nets players in my collection. I did like buy a few Duke people when I started, and I get happy when I get Nets people, but no, I kind of just look for like different packs I really like based on the pack art or the mintage, or just I have a lot of players I like outside of the Nets, so I don't really stick to them.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
now,
that's fair.
I have to ask this. I ask this all the time. People get really mad because sometimes they don't know where players are from. And I think I'm on a streak of 5 straight people I've interviewed and asked, and they are not able to answer this. So we'll give you a shot here. Oh, no, you might be able to.
No.
No, but hold on a second.
No.
Who is your favorite? And this can be all time. You may be able to come up with this. All right. And I apologize ahead of time if you're not able to, but just keep in mind the last 5 people have not been able to answer this. Who is your favorite Canadian basketball player of all time?
What? Okay.
It works every time.
I'll pick. All right. I got RJ Barrett.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, all right.
I was gonna say Duke. I was gonna say Duke, but I didn't want to limit it. But you even got a Duke player at the same time. I'm impressed. That's the first person now. That breaks the streak. The streak is over. All right, I'm excited.
The streak was won, man. The streak was won.
RJ Barrett's got a cool cat coming up too, I think.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be in the next Cool Cats batch. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing too, Tamara, you should know is that the coach of your new favorite team is also Canadian. Maybe the most famous Canadian player is Steve Nash.
Oh, really?
Right? And
I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I think he's RJ Barrett's like.
He is.
Yes. He's his godfather.
Yes,
he's his godfather. Yes. Which is
look at this. Now we're getting into deep Canadian basketball history.
Just going to turn into Canadian basketball appreciation.
And his dad is a Canadian basketball legend who used to play on the Canadian national team for years. Rowan Barrett, for those who don't know. So there you go. Now you got your Canadian history for the day.
Look, I can contribute. I know some.
That was good.
Canadian history.
Well. Do you know this, Tamara? James Naismith, who invented basketball.
Wow.
He is Canadian. He is Canadian.
So I didn't know that.
Wow. So LG, are you saying there would be no NBA Top Shot without James Naismith? Wow.
Pretty much. Yeah. I think that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. So he is born in a town called Almont, Ontario, which is the province that both Phil and I are from. We're from Toronto, obviously, so not quite a small town, but yeah. And he obviously invented basketball in the States, so he didn't invent it in Canada. But we actually, when we were, I think, teenagers, the Canadian government commissioned these amazing Canadian Heritage Minutes ads that were just these like 1-minute snippets of like a reenactment. And there is one of those where it's like this, it's like sepia tone film where he invents this thing and they're using like peach baskets as the nets. And then the guy's like, and then James Naismith's like, let's cut holes in the bottom of them. And the peach guy's like, no, I need my baskets. And it's like, that's the commercial is that, a Canadian guy invented the whole thing. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but I think in Canada, we kind of feel, being the larger by landmass, but quite smaller by population country just to the north of you guys. I think we're always kind of like, especially when the Raptors are doing well, we're like, yeah, we're a Canadian team, like we just want to make sure you guys know that we're there, right? And so I think it's a great question. It's always a good question for Phil D to ask, our American friends is, can you name some Canadian basketball players? So
I'm impressed. Like I said, we went deeper than just naming a player. We named a Duke player, and then we even got into his godfather who coaches the Nets. Like, this is wild. All right, now I'm happy. I never have to ask that question again, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Tamara, tell me what your strategy in Top Shot's been like. You were talking about doing some Cool Cats challenges and stuff like that. Like, start from the start. Like, tell us like when you got on a Top Shot, and then tell us how your strategies evolved over time, and then what you kind of see going forward.
Yeah, I had a friend tell me about Top Shot back in January. I'd say maybe like the second half of January, and I didn't understand it at all. It was the whole conversation that everyone had. It's like, I could just go on YouTube and look at these. Like, why would I pay any money for this? But I got kind of roped in. I like the challenges a lot. Like, I'm one of those people where if I play a game, like I'm playing till 100%. So I decided to commit to a challenge, and I have everyone in the Cool Cats challenge now except for Karl Anthony Towns. I'm just keeping an eye on the price.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, when he first went on the marketplace, it was like $1,000. I didn't even have an option. Like I was not going to be able to buy that. So now he's kind of in the range where I'm considering it, but I'm still like keeping an eye on things. But as far as strategy is concerned, I don't really have one. Like I just get packs when I can, and there's some pack art that I really did like the So Fresh pack art, and I think it's like the Lace 'em Up pack art, but I can't afford anything in that. So I just kind of
They used to be affordable. They used to be affordable.
I know.
Just so you
Honestly,
know.
even when I joined, I think it was probably affordable.
But you don't want this is the thing. That's what I find is like the mental block. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's like I find it's the mental block that when things seem inexpensive on Top Shot, then you think that it's for a reason. You're like, why does anybody want this? Right. And then you don't get it. And then like 3 weeks later, it's like 10 times the amount. And you're like, what was I doing? Like, but it's just even a couple weeks back, and I was talking on the podcast, I was like, listen, like Kevin Durant at $22, like that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem, it doesn't really click for me like that. Or even Luka Doncic at 31. It's like, that's not quite right. But people, since it's so low, people are more hesitant to buy than when it's high. And then now, neither of those will ever be below 200 or 300 again. Right. So it's just one of those funny things. So I feel you when you're just like, Lace 'em Up's cool, but now I can't afford it. And that you could when you came in. It's just, that's Top Shot, right? Yeah. Yeah.
When I joined, I think Lamelo was 200 maybe or 300.
Please stop.
I know.
we don't want to remember those days.
I sold them at 28. I'll always say it. I sold them at 28. I wasn't really thinking. They hadn't limited it at 4,000 yet. I didn't know. Okay.
Vince Carter
that's how you know I'm not. That's how you know I'm not an insider, is that I just sold Lamelo at 28 thinking they just keep minting them forever. And then they stopped it like the next day at 4,000. So just that's how you know I'm not. Yeah, I don't have any insider. Anyway, sorry, keep cutting you off. Go ahead, Tamara. Tell us more about your strategy.
At this point, my main goal was just finishing the Cool Cats setup. Like I said, I'm moving, so I really have to work with a limited budget right now. So that is my only goal, is to finish the Cool Cats challenge.
Nice. Yeah. So the Master Challenge, obviously, you're talking, right?
Yes, the Master Challenge. Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's we were talking about this on the show. Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
No, the Master Challenge is something, Tamara, a lot of people don't even know about it. I've come to realize that. I've had tons of conversations with people, and they're kind of just dumping all the Cool Cats once they're done with it. Like when they got the AD, they dumped all their Cool Cats, and then they're asking me, what's this Master Challenge people are discussing? Because it's not in the current challenges list on the NBA Top Shot website.
Oh, okay.
You have to go in the blogs to find when it was discussed. And I think that was a few weeks ago, right, LG? It was almost, at the beginning of Cool Cat.
And I've made, and this is by no means, I'm just going to share a screen. This is by no means an official website, but I made a little wiki kind of thing about what the Master Challenge is. Please don't, attack, whatever it is that DDoS
religiously follow
my website. Yeah, please don't go nuts. This is not a very official website for First Minute, just kind of a placeholder for now. But I've actually detailed in here what you need for the Cool Cats challenge. So for those that are new and you're looking at seeing stars and wondering what's going on, and you don't know what the Master Challenge is for Cool Cats, know that basically how a Master Challenge works is that over a period of time, tons of different moments from a set are released, and that after a while, you're going to need a lot of them to complete the Master Challenge. In this case, the Master Challenge reward, if you know how rewards work, is this Lamelo Ball moment of Cool Cats. We don't have a timeline for this challenge, and that's why it's not live on the site yet. But let's just go through really quick what these are. Oh, are you learning this as well, Tamara?
I guess that's the reason maybe why they didn't put it on the website, because those all have timers. But like you said,
they have timers, and all the other stuff's not out yet, right? So that's why it's just like we don't know when that stuff's going to come out, and obviously it's a bit of a fluid schedule right now. So we'll go through the requirements really quick. Maybe as a little refresher for Tamara as well as what she's getting into, and then also for anybody in the chat streaming who wants to kind of review. So our first Cool Cats challenge, which honestly felt like it lasted about 400 years, was for a Luka Doncic reward, the 5 Cool Cats that we needed. And we track this every day. Phil, we track this religiously from $2,000 for these 5 moments, all the way down to 800 one night, and then all the way back up to about 1,400.
It was at the end of the first part of the challenge, LG, it was $1,300 total with the Luka. Yes. The Luka that is, I mean, it hit about 8,000 or 9,000. It's back down to around 5,000 right now. But the Luka, including the Luka, 5 moments plus Luka was $1,300 the day after the challenge.
That's right.
Right.
That's less than what I paid for the Luka.
There you go. That's still good.
We're going to get Plunge in here in a couple minutes to come rumbling in and talk about this as well. So get ready for that. But then there was the second Cool Cats challenge, which is now over, which was the AD. And that happened in February. And that were these 5 players, Randall Cousins, Hero Washington, and John Wall. And the reward was Anthony Davis. So far, that's 12 moments that you need for this Master Challenge. In each of these challenges, there's also common moments that are included. But once that challenge is over, you don't need to hold those common moments if you want to do the Master Challenge. A good example of that was Will Barton for Cool Cats Challenge number 2, right? Is that his price went from $4 to like $300 overnight because he was needed to get the Anthony Davis. But now his price has gone back down to like 15 or $20 because he's not needed anymore for the Cool Cats Challenge. Or for
what did he start at, LG? What did he start at the day of the announcement? $4.
I bought him at $8. I bought him at $8.
Yeah, okay, nice.
Yeah.
And did you think you were paying? Did you think you were paying up when you paid $8? Were you kind of like, I don't know, maybe I should wait?
In the nicest way possible, I didn't know who that was.
Poor Will Barton.
Let's hope he's not in the queue right now.
He's got a nice. That play is nice too. Yeah. Sorry, Will. Well, Will Barton, if you're in the queue, come on, like just shoot me a message and come on into the chat and tell Tamara a little bit about yourself. Moving on. The other things you'll need in here, and this is the one that's already come out, is the Karl Anthony Towns Crypto Kitty moment. So this is one that was retroactively given to people who owned a Crypto Kitty before like January 20th. Crypto Kitty, if you watched the show last night, even if you haven't, you can watch it again. Crypto Kitties is one of Dapper Labs' first projects 3 years ago. It got so big that it crashed the Ethereum blockchain. That's how big it was. And it's still quite big. It's still very fun. Phil D, you were very interested last night after Rude Moose gave us her awesome presentation. You were very keen on maybe getting into Crypto Kitties. Anyways, anybody who previously owned a Crypto Kitty was given 3 Karl Anthony Towns moments this past week, which then hit the marketplace. So that is another moment that if you're doing the Master Challenge, you will need the Karl Anthony Towns moment. All of those together are 13 moments so far. There are still 16 more moments to come for this Master Challenge. So it's not even halfway over. What those 16 are going to be, there's going to be 6 more from Cool Cats Challenge number 3. We know the players now, actually, so I need to update this blog. It's not out yet. The pack might come out next week, but you're going to need those 5 players plus the reward, which is going to be Nikola Jokic. And then there will be a 4th Cool Cats Challenge, which will have another 5 players and another reward. We don't know when that's going to come. In here I put March 2021, but we're already on the 6th day of March, so it's going to come really fast. And then there are 4 more moments that you will need that we don't know what they are. So that is still to come. So this Master Challenge, this is a marathon, folks. Like if you like challenges, if you want to get these rewards, know that this one, like if you're in it for life. Like this is going to be probably like a season-long challenge. Okay, so for anybody wondering about Cool Cats, that's how it works. If you just want to do one of these challenges on their own, like just do the Jokic one, that's cool too. You should, because that'll be fun to get a Nikola Jokic Challenger Award. It'll be minted maybe just a couple thousand, right? So again, for anybody new to Top Shot who doesn't understand how the Master Challenge works, know that it's not posted yet and that there's still like, I don't know, 55%, 60% of the moments yet to come out for when you will eventually get this sweet Lamelo Ball moment. Tamara, how do you feel now that I've given this walkthrough? Are you still feeling good about this marathon you're running with Cool Cats?
I was thinking about that. I just should have bought the Karl Anthony Towns moment before we talked about it.
Oh yeah.
You should have bought it before you said what you just said, because
I know. I know. We'll see what happens.
Oh man, that's okay. Yeah, we have that problem here with that. Whenever we haven't really quite caught on to the fact that we're building an audience, and that when we start talking about a moment, that there's like a mad rush on the marketplace, even the most random moment. It doesn't have to be a specific player, like just anybody, or it has to be a specific player, but just like no, it can be a Will Barton or something like that, and
right.
We don't know. It's people are going to jump on. Tamara, we're going to keep chatting, but first I'm going to bring in our third co-host. So this guy is super well known around the community. He's very loved around the community. If you are new to the community, you've probably heard of him. Maybe he's even slid into your DMs to tell you that you've been making some great content or give you some tips on your content. He is our lead analytics master. He works with everybody else in the First Mint Network to do some really great work and to help them put together some really great graphics. And we'll give them some shout outs and talk about them in a couple minutes. But for now, this guy is a legend of the Top Shot community so far. And we're very happy to have him yet again on the show. Everybody welcome the PlungeFather. Wow. Plunge.
Wow.
Plunge, are you at some kind of cottage?
Is that a ranch?
This is my my sunroom. I was let out of the basement. The internet was so bad yesterday, and it's now 36 degrees outside. This is an unheated porch, so my tootsies are a little cold, but figured I'd get a little closer to the router. Hopefully the audio and the video is a little better. Getting a lot of crap in the chat last night about my 56K internet. So if anybody's got the connection to Elon Musk and Starlink, let me know. I literally have very few options for internet service providers, but I'm hoping that the sunroom, the beautiful sun outside, and hopefully just this will produce a little bit of a better video quality for everyone, so that it doesn't look like I'm lagging and chopping in and out like I was last night.
We're happy to have you, Plunge.
I'm happy to be here.
We're happy you're here and that you've been released from your Plunge dungeon. That's what the chat's saying.
There's a rumor out there right now that the PlungeFather fan club, a lot of them did not get a favorable place in line, but they decided to join the line anyways and stay in the line just to watch your appearance today, Plunge.
Hey, if we do good numbers on the Top Shot stream, more people will be able to look at them. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have a big audience to talk to and chop it up about Top Shot while we're waiting. I know it can be very boring during the stream, or excuse me, during the pack drops. So making it a little bit lighter, I think, was a really great opportunity for the Top Shot team. And it's been great to kind of get to talk about all this stuff. So,
and why don't you tell everybody what you do? I mean, you provide a lot more than just a really cool profile picture of a plunger that looks like the NBA logo, right? I think you provide quite a bit to the community, and I'd like you to tell everybody. I mean, we're looking at 100,000 at least in this line right now, and a lot of them have not heard of the PlungeFather. Why don't you tell them what you do for the community?
It's debatable. Depends on who you are. But what I do on Twitter, at least, is I provide as much insight and commentary as I can on the happenings in Top Shot. I started out kind of digging into some analytics and challenge reward types things. When I was listening in to Tamara talking about the Cool Cats challenge and everything. Sort of when I got into Top Shot in the middle of January, I was starting to find more and more information on these websites that existed at the time, like cryptoslam.io. If you're not familiar with it, it's a place that tracks NFT projects in general, not just Top Shot, but other things like CryptoKitties that you were talking about. And started digging in to try and find as much information and insight as I could to figure out, hey, where is value and what are some curiosities about how this thing is shaking out. So I've been doing that for the last 6 or 8 weeks, and in the meantime has sort of established an interesting presence in the Twitter sphere. My Twitter is entirely Top Shot related, but lots of people DM me, lots of people are in the Discords with me. I'm in like 10 or 15 different Discords, so just chopping it up with everybody and trying to provide as much insight as I can. So having a good time doing it.
Yeah, PlungeFather, we appreciate you, and I'm sure the whole community appreciates you. You are a pillar, absolutely, of the community. But let's actually test that. Tamara, did you know who the PlungeFather was until just now?
I think I follow you. I think I do. No, I do. I think I do.
I like that. I think I follow you. Sounds familiar.
It's a big community. There's a lot of space in the, there's a lot of people at Top Shot Twitter, so that's okay. Not everybody. It's not quite just a little high school or anything like that. There's literally tens of thousands of people all over the place. But
I just hit 6,000 once I hopped on the stream. So that So Tamara, I think I followed you. I followed you for a little while as well. I try and follow everybody that's putting out good content out there and engaging with tweets from the First Mint, from Phil D and LG, Steve, Chugs and Bugs, Greg Murray, all sorts of different folks that are involved. And I see you out there. I see you out there grinding in Twitterland, and I respect the game. So I appreciate your presence as well.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I made a side one just so I didn't bother all my friends with my actual Twitter
right?
account.
That's a good point. That's a good point, because now I kind of hesitate now with the recent following to post about just the random stuff I used to post about, because I'm like, yeah, man, these people don't want to hear that. And now like 80% of my following is Top Shot community now. So why would I talk about my favorite hockey teams? Why would I complain about my government, my city, all that stuff? Why would I complain about anything when these people don't care now? They just want to know what the next base moments are for Cool Cats Part 3, right? So
maybe there's a way to blend all that together, man. Maybe you got to talk about how, you know, Rob Ford's got to get on Top Shot and relax or something like that, or incorporated to the Ontario government.
Doug Ford, LG, Doug Ford.
Oh yeah, sorry, Doug Ford. Sorry, Rob's passed away. Sorry, my bad. Is his brother? His brother's in charge now. Rob used to be the mayor. He was the very famous mayor of Toronto, as you guys may recall. Some big news stories from 10 years ago. Well, I think everybody heard of that, but I don't want to stray way off track. So, anyways, guys, let's talk a little bit more general strategy, and I kind of want to go around the room here and get everybody's opinion, because probably one of the biggest questions we've gotten the last couple of days is people who open their first pack ever. Right, and they're pulling like a Lillard All-Star or Seeing Star. They're pulling a whatever, I don't know, but Tamara, like some of the players you pulled, like a Jaylen Brown or something like that. They're pulling good players, and they're pulling some medium players as well. Some are just players from all around the league, and they're not quite sure. A few questions they have are, one, like, if I'm not doing the challenge, do I hang on to this? Do I keep this player and or do I sell him? Do I do something else? And also these other players, they're 1 out of 35,000. I've got like number 18,000. What do I do with this, right? How much is it worth? And what do I do? So let's kind of go around. I want to get everybody's kind of feedback on what some of those very first couple steps are that you can take to start to learn about that stuff. Tamara, I'd love to start with you as somebody who's, hasn't gotten a pack in a while, and now you've got your first pack and you're probably trying to figure out what to do with it, considering that you're focused on an entirely different challenge, right? So let's start with you.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on your priorities. Like, I will not do this Seeing Stars challenge, so I plan on selling mine. Just so I can have the Dapper balance ready for when like the new Cool Cats come out, just so I can kind of like snatch them up and then just not have to worry about them. Because like you said, this challenge is like a marathon, not a sprint. So I kind of just want to buy it and forget about it.
What about the commons you got? Are those holds? Like, what did you get again? You got the Jaylen Brown. What was the other one?
Yeah, I got Jaylen Brown and Paul George.
Right.
I don't really know. Like, I don't really know yet what I'm gonna do with them. I do like Jaylen Brown a lot, so I might just hold on to his moment for a little bit. I might sell Paul George. But yeah, that might be a hot take. I don't know.
Plunge, what do you think, man? I feel like you've got some deep data theories about some, especially because these are new moments, right? These are the other big reminder here is that these moments, like the Jaylen Brown and the Paul George, those are 1 out of 35,000. That 35,000 has CC plus beside it, so that could go to 50. It could go to 100. Right now, the marketplace filter we've seen it's been changed to 50,000. It was changed a couple weeks ago, so we know that for now, Top Shot is planning to possibly mint moments all the way up to 50,000. But with these ones, those are the first of 35,000. In this pack drop, there's only about 2,000 of them total out of 180,000 packs. So we're looking at, what is that? What's 2,000 out of 35,000, right? Like that's not even, is that even 1%? Or that's like what, 10% or no, 7%? Sorry,
no, I'm waiting for you to get it right. Canadian education system over here.
Let's say 2,000 or 2. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me just do this on the
keep going. Keep going.
Just about 6% of the.
It's like 6%. Yeah, there you go.
Right. So even though that Paul George, I don't know what's going for in the market right now, might be a couple bucks, might be $100 or $50, but it's like whatever that price is. I think most people don't understand is that that's only 6% of the final supply. We don't know how long that supply is going to take to come out, and there might even be more, right? So I think that's kind of the challenge, is that for a lot of people. Plunge, what do you think? How should new folks kind of go about looking at that type of moment?
Yeah. So I think it's really important to recognize where we are and where we were 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago or 10 weeks ago, which is a really short timetable for us to consider, right? And where might we be 6 weeks from now or 8 weeks from now or 10 weeks from now? So when I started in middle of January, at that point, the Series 2 base set was only minted to like 4,000 for every single moment. And at that point, they started increasing the mint size to, for 10 stars, they went to the /7,500. That was LeBron and KD and Trey and Hero and so forth. And then there were the rest of the base set moments that were out got minted up to 12,000 CC plus. And at that point, we were sort of sitting there on these mint sizes, and we were thinking to ourselves, like, oh man, there's so many of these. And they started going for $1, $2, $3 here and there, right? And that was because we had so much more demand and we had so much more supply coming in that, like, it sort of stayed there because it sort of satisfied the marketplace and the number of people within the marketplace for the time being. And it was always the open-ended circulating count there, the plus, that sort of held people off from, like, where is this going to end up? Could it be 24,000? Could it be 36,000? There were people even claiming, like, oh, these might go to 100,000. And it was like 3 weeks ago that we had the conversation about, why are you selling your LeBron James that's out of, you know, at that point it shifted up to 15,000. Like, why are you selling your LeBron James, like, with the expectation that this thing might be 30,000 or 50,000 or 70,000, right? All we know right now is that there's 15,000 of them. And at that point, that seemed like a lot. But that LeBron James is worth $1,500 right now. And there may well be more of this that extends beyond, both in Series 2 and then Series 3 and beyond, where we're looking at these mint sizes, especially the 15,000s and below, as, like, very scarce, relatively speaking. So it's all a game of relativity here. And where we were 6 weeks ago with the user base that we had 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago, 12,000 or 15,000 seemed like a lot. And it doesn't seem like a lot today. So keep that in mind as we go forward. We have, I think they mentioned on CNBC yesterday morning, somewhere just under 500,000 accounts. We know, all of us know, that that's probably not representative of 500,000 people, right? Probably more like 25 or 250,000 or 300,000. There's lots of different ways to estimate that.
What are you insinuating,
No,
Plunge? What are you saying?
Come on, man.
Are you talking about Phil's 12 different burner accounts? Is that what you're talking about right now?
No, there's an element of that, right? There is an element of that, like, there's leftover stuff, and there's different ways to measure, like, active users, and they aren't sharing that information, like, with us entirely, right? We can find some data about how many accounts own moments. We know how many accounts have made transactions, those types of things. But even with 500,000 people, let's say that doubles to 1 million people, or it quadruples to 2 million people, which is not out of the question before the playoffs, right? With the marketing hose and starting to reach out and be a part of the larger NBA ecosystem. Like, if this looks like 4 times the user base that we have now, and there's 2 million people on the platform, if there's only 15,000 LeBrons in that three-pointer, like, for 2 million people, like, there is a supply and demand problem there. And there might even be a supply and demand problem with the Tyrese Halliburton 35,000 that I have right now, because more and more people are going to be coming in. And right now, the high mint count supply is sort of taking over. And I said this last night, like, if you think about the pyramid of scarcity, like, the tip of the tip is the Ja Morant Hollow MMXX, the 32 minted one from the first thing. And then beyond that, as we get into, you know, some of the cosmics and some of the other, you know, out of 59 or out of 79 or out of however many mint sizes, down to the base of the pyramid now at 35,000. It's not that everything else is sliding down to meet that 35,000. It's that those 35,000 mint counts are building a new bottom of the pyramid because everything sort of shifted up in price, which I think is really, really smart. And we have to keep in mind as well, like, they have people, and I say the NBA Top Shot team, Dapper Labs, they have people that like game economists, right? That are on staff. They're not just making this up as they go. They understand and are making choices about how to do this to, number one, and first and foremost, protect the collector. Like, that is the goal, is to keep people engaged and to keep people wanting to play this game. It is a game. and we want people to have fun while they're doing it, right? But on the second element of that is how do we create a healthy marketplace where we don't have this massive wild volatility that like your nest egg might turn into 0 tomorrow. Like that's not the goal. They're trying to protect from that as well and to provide some insulation. So there's certain things that are going to shift, like Phil D's tweets, right? You're gonna get Will Barton on them, but there are elements at play and factors and forces at play. But from the NBA Top Shot team and the Dapper Labs team and the game master Alan Carr, his Twitter is Alan Falcon. You should follow him. Listen to everything that he talks about on every YouTube stream because he's a genius and he's super fun. And you will understand very quickly, hearing him talk about what the intention is and what the long-term vision of this is that they are being exceptionally intentional about how they introduce things into the marketplace so that we are not disrupting the overall collector experience. We're enhancing it. That's the whole goal.
Man, Plunge, they got to hire you as their hype man or something.
That's
like that.
deep.
Oh my
that was
God.
real
That
deep.
is I literally look at this like 18 hours a day, and you got me more excited about it than I already was.
Yeah, dude, I'm
like,
jacked about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's super fun to talk about and strategize about. And I haven't submitted a resume yet. I know they called out for Katie and Alan and Arthur and a handful of other people have sent out the links for, hey, we're looking for people across the entirety of the Dapper Labs team, not just on the technical side where we need developers that can work with particular technologies to integrate with the flow, but also in terms of product design and social media and community engagement. So I encourage you to look on that if you feel like you might be qualified for something like that. We've got 70,000 people in here right now that are thinking, I enjoy this. I'm sitting here. I'm involved in Top Shot. That it's cool. It's funky. Like if you've got a skill set that can help bolster that team, and maybe I do, I don't know. I haven't applied yet, but maybe I will. But like, how do we build around this? Because right now, and again, I'll say this over and over and over again, NBA Top Shot is not the final form of this, right? Flow as a blockchain and as a technology to build out NFT projects on top of something that can be nimble and more nimble right now than the Ethereum blockchain, where the vast majority of other NFT projects live. This is the basis. This is the proof of concept that this works. So we're talking NBA Top Shot right now, and that's exciting because that's what's here. We've got more coming, and the NBA is revolutionary because they're paving the way with this. Their partnership with Dapper and the NBA Top Shot product is, LG, you said this yesterday, and I forget if it was on our stream or if it was on the Benzinga stream earlier in the day. They're building the 16-lane highway so everybody else can drive without having to do the hairpin turns on the back road, right? So I think that concept, everybody should recognize that. And we are on the front end of this, and there's going to be a lot more interesting projects, not just NBA Top Shot, that gets me really hyped up.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Tamara, does that help you?
Can you play the claps again, LG?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let's get to it. Hold on, yeah, here we go. Tamara, does that help you price your Jaylen Brown? Pretty much. Is that?
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Plunge, I love it, man. And you're right. The analogy I've been using, and apologies to the Dapper Labs team if you guys don't feel the same way, but basically the way I see it is building a 16-lane highway, pouring the concrete while there's like literally the Indy 500s racing behind you, right? Or whatever it is. So it's a tough go right now because a lot of people want this and a lot of people have been turned on to Top Shot, and it is a great product and it is hard to get packs. But again, the long-term vision is there and the long-term plan is there, and we're going to see, something totally new. We already have, but as this grows and the ecosystem gets a little bit more well-rounded, it's going to make a lot more sense for a lot of people and be a much happier place to play. The spot I've always said that Top Shot needs to get to, and I think they will soon. And even Plunge, you're saying with this new base layer of moments is, we need new people to be able to enter and be able to buy their favorite player for under $20. Right. And maybe LeBron will never be under $20 for any of his moments. And that's okay. Cause he really is a living legend at this point. But if your favorite player is a Jaylen Brown or it is a Pascal Siakam, you need to be able to come into Top Shot and buy, even if it's a one of 50,000 or one of 100,000, whatever, you need to be able to come in and be able to collect that moment, right? Like to at least get off the ground and get your feet wet and get something really nice. Right. But Let's kind of come back here. I want to kind of just stay on the topic of helping people kind of navigate their first pack. Phil D, I'd love to hear from you as well. Somebody who's brought tons of friends and family into Top Shot in the last couple weeks and last couple months. And I know you get hounded. You get tons of texts. You're in tons of chats of people wondering what the hell to do with their Malcolm Brogdons and whatever else they're getting. What's some advice for people who are picking up, one of 35,000 Jimmy Butler or one of 35,000 Jaylen Brown?
Well, I mean, if it makes anybody feel better, if you're not getting a pack today, you may not be getting a pack and you haven't gotten one yet. I joined around January 8th, early January. I was here early, and I've actually never scored a legendary or rare pack in my Top Shot career. The only packs I've ever been able to score are the base packs, I think, and the pre-order packs. So don't get too discouraged. There are other ways to get your Top Shot career started. But I'll share a couple of experiences because I'm getting a ton of texts right now and stuff from a lot of friends and family. And I guess I screwed myself by telling so many people because now they're getting packs and I'm not, right? I mean, but I'm happy because if the market is going to keep thriving and if the market's going to bounce back when it goes down, if the dips are going to always go back up like they should, we need new people to be engaged. So an example is one of my good friends got a pack yesterday. No clue what to do with it and constantly asking me what to do. Cracked open the pack. He only paid $14 for it. Okay, deposited $100, put $14 on that pack. He got a Zion number 1,000 and whatever, a couple thousand was the serial number. So he kept asking me, what should I do? Because he was in the first group of people who got one. A bit of an advantage because the prices will always be higher when there's new stuff on the market. If you're getting it now, I don't think you'll get the same prices for Zion just yet. But so I said, you know what? I said, just wait. Let's see what happens. And then when it got to around $700 or $800, I told him, you know what? Think of this for a second. You put in $100 into your Dapper balance. You bought the pack for 14. Why don't you sell it for 700 or 800? He put it up. I get a text a couple minutes later. He says, hey, there's a problem. The moment I put up for sale is no longer showing in my collection. I said, all right. Go click on that little bell at the top there, all right, with that red dot. And then all of a sudden I can't repeat what he said, but he just went bonkers. And he sent me a picture of his Dapper balance, which was close to now $1,000 USD. All right. So, I mean, for a new person to be able to make an investment of only $100 and now you've got $1,000 to play with to start buying stuff you actually care about, I think is what this is all about. Because as much as people want to make money and they want to flip items, and that's an art in itself. The flippers are incredible. The way they snipe those low moments and they'll put them back up, a bit later for a couple more $100. It's an art. There are people who do it, but there's also an art in collecting. And I think Dapper balance for me is the key in all of this. And if you don't have it, you won't be able to do a lot of the things that you want to do. So it's a judgment call whether you sell or keep your first moment. But I'm a big fan of it. If you're here early, and you get a pack like today that a lot of people are not getting, or a pack tomorrow, and you're just starting your Top Shot career, why don't you sell something off so you have a bit of Dapper balance and you don't have to put more money in? Because for me, when you one more thing, LG, for me, before you show friends and family your collection and, I made $1 million or my collection is a couple $100,000, I always ask, what did you originally deposit into Top Shot? If you tell me it's $50,000 and your account's at 90, I'm not that impressed. It's a profit for sure, and it's a strategy. But I take a lot of pride in that. I was obviously gifted a lot of moments and a lot of nice stuff by a certain brother I have, where to the point where some of the stuff gave me,
that stuff was crazy.
No. And for those who don't know the story, LG actually gifted me a couple of nice things when I started because at the time they weren't worth much. But I go back to the Jokic moment that he bought for like $5 and sent me as a gift, a welcome gift that is now worth.
Which Jokic was it? Common?
It was the Western Conference Finals, that rare series. There were a bunch of them are going to be burned or don't exist.
Must have been more than $5.
Whatever. It was 5, 15, 20, whatever you paid for it.
It was like $25. Yeah, exactly. Okay. It was like $25.
It is now, I think, worth around $3,000 or $4,000. But that was from back in the day. So LG will no longer be gifting me anything for my birthday or Christmas for the next whatever years. That's a guarantee. But no, it just goes back to the point where, again, Dapper balance is huge. If you can get your Dapper balance up, a significant amount early after you get this pack, do it. A lot of new stuff coming out. If you only started with $14 today and you can sell your all-star moment for $600, then you're now a player in tomorrow's packs that are $199, as opposed to before. Maybe you weren't someone who has $199 to spend on something like this because you're skeptical or you just don't have it. It happens, right? I think it's a great opportunity for new collectors. That's why I'm always happy to hear the stories of people getting their first packs and turning it into something right off the go, because nothing is more exciting to them than having balance to play around with.
Tamara, do you have a big Dapper balance? And big can be $100 or $1,000. What I'm saying is I think something we talk about a lot on the first mint is being ready with some liquid, right? Because when there's a new hot pack that's announced, like let's say, and we're gonna get some more relatively official news on this in just a couple minutes. But let's say, I know that the new Run It Back set is now kind of has a longer timeline. We don't know what's gonna come, but when it does eventually come, it's like, all right, Shaq is coming, and you're gonna need Shaq. And that is going to make 90% of the people on the platform look at their collection and be like, okay, what can I liquidate here to maybe raise some funds to eventually buy the Shaq, because it's going to be worth a lot, or even just have enough money to buy the pack to get Shaq. So Tamara, is that a way you look at it? And if so, kind of like, what's your, are you willing to share your position right now?
I will have enough to buy the pack. If I don't get the pack, I probably won't have enough to buy it off the marketplace.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
But I do have enough to buy the pack. I need an Allen Iverson moment. Fun fact, we're from the same area. I've seen him at the mall before, like growing up. So I need that one.
I like that. Is that a way you look at it though? Because I think that's something like the three of us would chat about this like literally all day, every day. But I kind of want to hear from you. Yeah. Do you kind of approach it as like, because the way I see it is like at any moment we could get great news that something's coming, but when that happens, the market people are going to liquidate some of their stuff, right? So is that kind of the way you look at it, or do you kind of, how do you plan your future strategy? Let's say.
I do kind of keep track of the moments I have and just their prices over time. And if I see that it's like plateauing or it's maybe like starting to dip a little bit and I knew I was going to sell them anyway, that's when I put them up. I don't really plan it when I hear that there are new packs coming out. It's more of just like looking at their prices on the marketplace and making a call then.
Yeah, that's smart. Keep it simple. Yeah, I think another thing is we all tend to overanalyze like quite heavily, and that is kind of our job. But that is, that kind of is our duty. We've placed ourselves at kind of at the forefront here of helping people with their strategy and stuff. So it is kind of up to us to do that. But I think it's good, from your end too, to kind of hear a bit of a more casual strategy that you kind of take it as it goes, and that's totally fine. So I think we can. I hyper analyze every last thing that ever happens. And as you know, especially Phil, about me being the Woj, is just like, it's like, I just look for the tiniest little morsel of information on the website. And even I get a lot of great DMs from people being like, hey, did you notice this like secret thing? Or like, I don't know. People always kind of
the fans are the best. The fans are the best.
They're the best. I love that. And I know, I absolutely love that. I just think it's funny. Just like people try and help me be the Woj as well. So I really appreciate that.
I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, there's a character called Varys. He's got all the little birds that tweet to him.
That's you, Plunge. That you're Varys. No, you've got all the little birdies, man. Plunge
doesn't he
I don't know that.
Plunge, everybody. Top Shot, man. I'm more like the oblivious, like noble person, who just isn't like
all right.
Who breaks the news but doesn't actually like. I don't have time. You're the one who knows everything, man. Plunge is in. Anyways, we're going to keep moving. We have another very special guest who's going to join us. You've definitely seen him on many, many, many streams. He is the pillar of the community. He is the community lead of NBA Top Shot, and he's going to hop on and give us some official, unofficial updates about what is going on and what to expect probably in the next couple of days or maybe even next couple of weeks. Everybody give a big hand of applause from our big audience here to Jacob. If you look closely enough, you can see a pen on stick there. Like you see me with my guitar and Phil on the drums. Jacob, welcome to I guess your own stream, to the NBA Top Shot stream, but also it's great to have you.
What's going on, team? You guys are crushing it today.
We're having a good time, man, and we're having a good time. We got Plunge in his cottage, got Phil in his llama worship room, and Tamara joining us from I don't know, her second grade classroom where she teaches apparently or something. With her geography, who's going to give us a geography lesson soon. That's what we should have done. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. When we started talking about RJ Barrett, we should have been like, all right, Tamara, let's go around the world and we talk about all the international players. You can use the map behind you.
That's hilarious.
Jacob, how are things going in Top Shot HQ this morning after the third drop in a row for Seeing Stars?
Certainly getting a lot of DMs from people that are a little peeved about not getting in on any of the 3 Seeing Stars. But I think generally speaking, we're feeling really good about this drop. I think dividing it out into 3 different stages kind of allowed multiple people to have bites at the apple. And certainly when we're looking at kind of the queue itself, like it's far more sustainable and probably less of a headache to have a 3-hour drop rather than a 12-hour marathon. So breaking this out into multiple kind of stages has been, I think, a nice win. And certainly, at least I'm going to knock on wood here, but certainly the drop seems to be moving pretty smoothly so far today.
How many folks have come through the line so far this morning?
Actually,
I haven't looked.
It's a good question.
It says over 100,000. It says over 100,000 were in the queue, and I think it says 36, or it's got to be more now, but 36,000 or less.
30,000, about 30,000, just over 30,000 packs left. So just about halfway. Just about halfway so far. Yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah,
and when you think about those who have already been able to get a pack weren't able to join the queue. So that 100,000 is, certainly, those are all collectors that still need their first Seeing Stars pack. So
that was clutch. That was clutch, Jacob, because that was the big concern going in. It's like, if that everyone who got a pack was going to rejoin that queue, this, right? No matter what.
I think we were going to do it anyway. Like,
exactly.
Can't not. Like, even though you're not supposed to, you're like, well, I have to. You just
try.
can't not do it.
They just thought, what if there's a glitch and I get through again? I'll do it again. And then when they got that pop-up message, our DMs blew up. They're like, oh my God, I can't go back in the queue. I can't believe it. And then you ruined the day for a lot of people. But it's a good move. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And I think it puts other people at ease that you don't have multiple pack buyers and people going back in. Although we did see quite a few grandmas now on Top Shot. I think somebody posted a video earlier of their grandma or their mom opening a pack of Top Shot.
Yeah, it's Black Day. It was Black Day with his mom. He got so much shade. He got thrown so much shade. Everybody's like, that's not really your mom. She's just opening packs for you. And they had to respond, like, just sending off the Twitter trolls, like, she's going to collect this too, man. Like, get off my mom's back. Come on. This is fun for everybody.
That's amazing.
That's right. Yeah. And I think there were kind of 2 angles to it. Like we knew that we had the fix in to essentially prevent you from being able to get to checkout if you were able to re-enter the queue after having already bought a pack. So we knew that no one was going to be able to buy that second pack. But we were aware that that's not quite sufficient. That might distort what the queue numbers look like. It might deter people that were kind of toward the end of the queue. But every time we make as subtle a change to the queue as that might seem, that's still opening ourselves up to a totally new queue experience. So we want to measure that kind of, addition or supplementation to the queue process without risking changing everything kind of inadvertently. So we're really satisfied and we're excited that we were able to do that. And I think, as you all said, it has created a better, more egalitarian distribution, which I think the community can appreciate.
It makes getting challenges completed a little bit harder to only be able to get one, but I think, to your point, it is far more fair than it was and equitable, definitely.
Jacob, do you envision this being the standard going forward for the larger pack drops?
As in, like, breaking it out and not allowing someone to get into.
Yeah, exactly. Like breaking it out over a couple of days like that. Because I anticipated, maybe you can give us a bit of light here too, that going forward, especially now there's 200,000 people plus, that we might see common pack drops of 300 or 400,000, right? That just to kind of satisfy that demand. But like you're saying, it's not gonna be realistic for people to wait in line for 15 hours if they get number 200,000, right?
Yeah, I don't want to. So to be clear, I'm on the community side. I'm not one of our engineers. I don't want to be super kind of inauthentic there to say that we have 100% found our long-term solve. I think that we're still interested in this idea of maybe having a menu of options to go to when it comes to doing drops. So the queue system randomization, I don't think we've fully ruled out first come first serve long term, though I think we're certainly liking the randomization because, as you all have said, it's the fairest kind of way to ensure that everyone has an equal shot. But I think, realistically speaking, we've done less than 15 of these queue drops to date, right? So we're still in the first inning of kind of what Top Shot will be, and we like where we're headed with it, but I don't think that we have enough history to say that we're 100%. We figured out everything, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. And even I think it's we always joke about this, about how time in Top Shot feels like a couple years go by every day, but how quickly we forget that, just over a month ago, we'd all have to refresh the page at the same time and try and just hit buy a pack we had 100,000 people trying to be like, click, 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 click. And then it would just scroll, and then it would say, couldn't do your purchase. And, and just how aggravating that was, because we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know if we were actually going to get one or not. And it didn't seem, and then that just makes it, when you don't know, it makes it easier to kind of imagine that there's some other, nefarious things going on. There's bots or whatever that you're just kind of being screwed over. But now with the randomization, it's like, well, it does suck when you get a really high number, but at the same time, it's, that's, at least it's, we all understand, or most of us understand, that it's more, it's math, really. It's just like, it's probability, is that you won't always get a high number, and or a low number, and that's how it works. But at least you get a fair shake at that randomization element, just like everybody else. So just thinking back to back at end of January, when the site would have issues and everybody'd show up and we'd all be refreshing at the same time. It's just we've come a long way. This is far more organized. So kudos to you guys, to Top Shot for getting us to at least this point, right? And like you're saying, it's the first inning, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, thank you. And I think to that point, one of our next frontiers, because that experience of the refreshing and clicking is still somewhat prevalent after a pack drop, right? When you get to the marketplace. So that's one of the next things we really want to figure out is how can we create less chaos in the immediate aftermath while still having it be fair and equal, because I think there's a lot of different considerations there, and we want everyone to have a shot at getting the moments on the marketplace that they seek out and are interested in. But if everyone is seeking out those same moments, it's going to have that similar kind of first come, first serve glitchiness. So Plunge can attest, I'm sure.
Yeah, with the Carl Anthony Towns, I have 2 of them at $525 and 36 emails from Dapper for failed attempts at lower price points. So, but to your point, it is that is a prevalent thing with some of this stuff, immediate aftermath of the drop. And I don't know, and I know that you're not on the development team, so please feel free to punt this one as well. In terms of roadmap and timing for some of this stuff, where are we headed? And what is some of the other cool features or things that you're looking at improving? What are sort of your top hitters for being able to address in the short and medium term?
Yeah, so I think as Luke was saying, we really do, a day in Top Shot is 10 years in the real world, or vice versa. So I think I'll measure it with kind of what our priorities were this week and what we think are going to be priorities after we get through the hurdles of this week. So this week we kind of had 2 really big things happening at once, right? We had All-Star Weekend. We had a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure you all have seen, I know the First Mint tweeted out about Rising Stars packs tomorrow. We just published that blog. We're going to be sending out an email shortly. We have Rising Stars rare packs coming out tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Very excited about it. It's going to be a great opportunity for any collector that unfortunately was shunted out from getting a Seeing Stars pack to have another bite at the apple tomorrow. Those packs are going to be $199. And they'll include 1 guaranteed rare moment from a Rising Stars contestant and a Seeing Stars moment. So if you're unable to get a Seeing Stars pack today, you'll have another chance to get a Seeing Stars moment in tomorrow's packs. So that was like a monster, right? We had the press release, so to speak, with the NBA announcing it. We've had pack drops, 2 yesterday, 1 today, 1 tomorrow, right? Just getting all of that content, all of those pack descriptions, all of those challenge descriptions, everything kind of set up. And yes, there will be a LeBron James challenge for seeing stars after the Kevin Durant. We know
question of the day, Jacob. People are asking that more than anything I've ever seen asked, is they want to know. And there's all these rumors out there about, there's going to be a master challenge where at the end of the 30 moments, it'll be the LeBron James, all that stuff. So I'm so happy you clarified that, because it is probably the number one question this morning in terms of how people approach the challenge.
Yeah, so that LeBron challenge is probably about 3 weeks away. Look, I don't want to get a specific timeline, but that's kind of what my guesstimation would be. But yes, there will be one that will come after the Kevin Durant. But so when we're talking about the priorities of this week, that was obviously everything All-Star related was really on kind of the immediate map of we need to get this done. This is just so much. And then the second priority, which you all are well aware of, is we also had a big initiative last week around pre-orders. So minting all of those moments, getting the pre-order packs in a position where we're not waiting until the 11th hour to then, oh, right, we promised that these would be about a 2-week delivery time and backloading that. So we've made really good strides there. We've minted those moments. Now it's all about the fulfillment. Literally in the 5 minutes before hopping on this, I just sent out an email to everyone that pre-ordered. So giving the status update that those packs will be delivered by the end of next week. So by Sunday, end of day next week, you will have a pre-order pack in your collection, barring anything unexpected happening. Of course, we're still in beta. I don't want to say that unexpected things don't happen, but yep. We feel pretty good about being able to fulfill that in the next, 8 days.
Jacob, I thought you were going to say by the end of today, and I was going to faint, honestly. I was literally going to pass out that you came on here to drop another bomb. Because we've been speculating on that all week, and you guys would say give an update today, but obviously the three of us were like, okay, obviously that means we're just going to get them on the 6th, right? Like we're trying to figure that out. And somehow I tweeted the wrong thing last week after that, where I said it's going to coincide with the All-Star break, but I forgot that the All-Star break was the following week and not 2 weeks away. So then that kind of people keep asking me like, so it's coming this weekend, right? And I'm like, no, that's not what's happening. So, okay. I was passed out when you said that. Whew.
Yeah. So we're hoping that it could come even before Sunday, but my anticipation is that next weekend at some point they'll land into your collections. And, certainly we would love to get those out today, but as you know, we have a lot of other stuff we're working on. So those were the two priorities of last week. And I think kind of more in the background is adding a little bit more structure in order to the support side of our operation. Because as you know, we get a lot of tickets and people often want to hear back from us as soon as possible. So we're figuring out ways to make that more efficient and streamlined. So those were kind of the three priorities of last week. Now, I think, Plunge, to your question, what's coming next? I think we all are aligned that a priority is the post-pack drop marketplace situation. Now, there's no kind of light lift there that like we can action for tomorrow that will change everything. But that's where we're going to turn our attention certainly on one level. And then, of course, Cool Cats, we have that master challenge that's been kind of the carrot in a lot of collectors' eyes for a while. And we want to make more progress. So I think you can safely anticipate a Cool Cats drop happening in the next week. So that will be exciting.
Awesome. We saw all the minted moments on Top Shot Explorer and Crypto Slam. So we know who's out there with that. So one question on the Cool Cats thing, and it's speculation, and feel free to, again, punt it on this one. Is it a safe assumption that the Lamelo moment will be a rare moment, similar to what the Matisse Thybulle in the Got Game Challenge Master Challenge last year is? If you can give any insight or sneaky sneaky, maybe referential things, that would be very helpful.
So I don't have certainty, but I will say that I don't think it's like the Matisse Thybulle situation.
Okay.
My hunch is that it will be a common moment, of course, with every challenge reward minted to the exact demand of everyone that completes the challenge. And because it's a master challenge, I don't anticipate that number to be extremely high. So it might be an addition size that is more aligned with what a rare addition size might be. But I think because it's a cool capped moment, it will be a common moment by definition.
Cool. Good to know. Thanks for the clarification.
You got it.
Is there more? You have more updates, Jacob? No.
I got another question as well. So Jacob, you're a huge basketball fan. One of the best things about watching streams with you with other folks, whether or not you're talking with other NBA players or other folks like with the ESPN personalities and the drops that you're doing, you have an incredibly strong basketball knowledge. So I'm curious about All-Star Weekend. Like, this is an exciting time for us in general in the NBA community. I consider myself in the NBA community now. Like, what are you most excited about in the game tomorrow or in the All-Star Weekend relative to the actual play on the court?
Yeah, I mean, I love the ELO ending or the Elon ending. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but basically rather than playing to a timer, you play to a final score. The basketball tournament, TBT, created that kind of style. And we saw it last year implemented for the first time. And I think like I'm a big proponent of it. I don't think that if you were starting the NBA today, for example, and you didn't have a history of one ending or the other, I don't think there are many strong arguments for having a timer run out. Obviously, the buzzer beater is cool, but with the type of ending we'll see in the All-Star game tomorrow, you're guaranteed to have a game-winning shot, right? And last year, of course, that game-winning shot was a free throw. My hope is that the game-winning shot tomorrow is actually a field goal. But one of the real great benefits of that, rather than playing down to a timer, is there's less of an incentive to just start fouling, right? The hack-a-shack type kind of approach where you're just fouling to stop the clock, that no longer becomes a consideration. So it has more of that kind of schoolyard, like we're playing till 11. Okay, it's now a 9-9 game. We're playing by ones. Okay, everyone's just D'ing up intensely and everyone's super locked in. So
the purest form of the game.
The purest form. And I think that the NBA should be applauded because they didn't have to change that format, right? This was a risk to go in that approach. And I think last year we saw it was a big success. So I'm really excited about them doing that again. And then, just kind of teasing with Rudy Gobert last night, like Rudy, of course, All-Star, should be Defensive Player of the Year again, like, probably a top 5 to 10 MVP candidate this year. But he's not really known for doing flashy things on the court. So I was teasing him that tomorrow might be an opportunity for him to do
a moment.
Yeah, make a top shot moment. So we'll see. And, there's no guarantee that we have an all-star pack down the pipeline. I think we certainly hope for it, but it's also it's dependent on what happens in the game. And we can't say for certain that we're going to get enough moments from that game to make a pack. So I think for any basketball fan, of course, the All-Star Weekend is a big celebration of all the great things, all the greatest players in the world. And we hope to be able to kind of create packs around that long term. But I would be remiss to say that that's 100% on our roadmap because a lot of it, we can't forecast what will happen in the future. And we can only kind of prepare for both options.
Jacob, I've got a question if you still have time. And this might be more challenging for you to answer, but it's something I think a few of us have been curious about is given the enormous attention that Top Shot has gotten in the last month, right? And you guys have said yourselves, you stopped, the marketing and you've got so much press coverage. The players are on now. A lot of that happening organically. Has the relationship between Top Shot and the NBA begun to evolve a little bit quicker or differently now that clearly it's whether they want it or not, it has to be way more on their radar because everyone's talking about it. Can you enlighten us to kind of what some of those conversations look like and just generally what attitudes have been as Top Shot's grown so quickly?
Yeah, I think we have a great relationship, and it's not just with the league, but also with the Players Association. Everything that we do is in conjunction with them, and I think certainly as Top Shot has grown in recent weeks, recent months, we've been able to kind of evolve that relationship to we're scaling up our team, so we have more people working on which moments we should create, right? What are the best plays that we should turn into moments? And I think both our partners on both ends have also been able to add a little bit more resourcing toward making the Top Shot experience the best thing possible. So that relationship has been awesome. They've been excellent partners. I think a testament to them and their kind of belief in Top Shot is they gave us the privilege of announcing the Rising Stars rosters, right? Like that's big time. That's really exciting. And I think in a year where it's unfortunate that those rising stars won't be able to showcase their talent on the big stage, we can at least celebrate them in a really new, unique way through kind of the Rising Stars packs tomorrow.
Yeah, that is too bad too, because that Rising Stars game last year just delivered like one of the instant classic moments that we even ran a contest with that GIF a couple weeks back, where it was Luca shooting that moon shot from like beyond the logo, and him and Trey kind of hugging after it went down, and it's too bad we won't get a taste of that this year, but that's all good. That's how it goes. Guys, we've got Jacob for a couple more minutes. Jacob, I don't know if there's any more, I don't know if you have any bombs you want to drop on us. This is the way on the first mint. But unless you do, guys, I'd love to hear, like Phil D, Tamara, if you guys have any questions for Jacob while we got him, fire away.
I'll go. I'm a huge fanatic, Jacob, of the Cool Cats. And I know it's I think the craze around the Cool Cats has been, I don't know if it's been more than you've expected, but people love Cool Cats. Now, they're on a bit of a downer right now because of all the ASG stuff, but that's to be expected. And I expect once the All-Star game passes, Cool Cats will pick back up. A lot of people are freaking out. Some people are actually getting rid of their entire collections because they're like, oh my God, nobody cares about the Cool Cats anymore. And they're kind of panicking, right? But I mean, it's a little pause here in the action where we're getting other stuff. Now, there's so much speculation out there. And you guys really threw everybody for a loop when you went with international players this time instead of, guys from cat schools and things like that. What goes into the thought process? And actually, I'd love to know, is everything in the Cool Cats Challenge predetermined, or is it something that as you go, you get more innovative, like using international players or players from the University of Kentucky uniquely and things like that?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. We have kind of a general roadmap or a blueprint, so to speak, of where we want to go with it. But I think we kind of fill in that blueprint as we go at times. So the international players you might be seeing coming to Cool Cats soon, that's the emphasis on the cool. If you look at where they're from, those are all historically very, very cold countries.
That's good. That's a bomb drop right there.
Come on.
That's awesome. That's really deep. That's deep.
That kind of brings me around to the idea that people have speculated if we're going to get hot dogs at one point, and just I don't know, like people that played for whatever dog themed schools or something like that. So, or maybe guys from hot countries.
No, but you have to tell Jacob. Jacob, we got some DMs because people love playing the game of the base moments and what they're going to be. We actually got DMs from somebody who researched all the European players, like high schools, and what the mascot was in high school in Europe, and sent it to us. High school. I said that's really deep.
Who was it? Yeah, it was two players who went to some random German high school that had a dog as a mascot.
It was
a
cat.
Lions.
It
was a Lions. Yeah, it was a Lions.
I love our community. Just point blank, they are the best. I have to run in a minute or two, but tomorrow I would definitely love to give you an opportunity to ask any pressing questions you might have.
Oh, for sure.
Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's fine. My question is like very lighthearted. It's not pressing. What is your favorite moment on the website so far, and what do you want to see like up next?
Yeah, my favorite moment on the site on NBA Top Shot, I would say I'll pick two. I'll pick there's a Draymond Green block I'm a Michigan State Spartan fan, so I've loved Draymond since he was a chubby freshman, getting 8 minutes a game on a team that made the Final Four, ended up losing to North Carolina in the national championship game by like 30 points. But Draymond was a chubby freshman, and he evolved into an All-American over those 4 years. So there's a Draymond block that I love, and then as a Knicks fan, I think you have to love Carmelo's career high, Madison Square Garden high. That's iconic. So those are the two that I would say. And then what I want to see next, or what I want to see down the road. My favorite player of all time is Pablo Prigioni. He's a backup point guard with the Knicks for a few years. Very similar game to Facundo Campazzo, who's going to get a moment in Rising Stars tomorrow. Just like a flashy point guard, really gritty, pressing on inbounds passes, always tried to sneak inbound steal. Really tried to model my game after him a little bit when I was younger. So if we ever get a Prigioni moment on Top Shot, that'll make my day. So I'll say that. I don't have I guess the specific moment would actually be a J.R. Smith moment, because there's an alley-oop where Prigioni throws like a laser to J.R. Smith, who does a reverse dunk off of like a very low alley-oop pass. And it was just kind of like, I can't believe the Knicks are good right now. And they just pulled that off. That was kind of the feeling as it happened.
Wow. Man, Jacob, I always say that you're just like this basketball encyclopedia. So I find that really impressive that you can just pull up those plays and those players, like even just like literally how actual players can just remember something that happened like 10 years ago, like specifically who did what. Like, I'm very impressed by that, man. That's really cool.
I spent my whole life studying the game. So the fact that I get to work in the space for a living, I'm the luckiest guy around. So, and I appreciate you all for giving me an opportunity to come on, answer some pressing questions. Certainly, we do a lot of communication around blogs and emails, but way easier for me to come on and give 20 minutes of rapid fire than to write 4 or 5 disparate blogs answering FAQs that we're seeing. So appreciate you all. You guys are crushing on this pod or this show. So I'm big fans of all of you. So keep it up.
Thanks, Jacob. It's great to have you, man.
Take care. And good luck to everyone in the queue. Hope you get your pack. And if not, there will be more packs coming very soon. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Wow. Almost a bum. I literally thought he was going to say that that pre-order 21 is coming today. And I was going to pass out, honestly.
Well, we did get our update. They promised an update on March 6th. We got the update.
And he came on to say, hold on. I got to tweet this info. I also want to say, Tamara, that your followers are up like 300 or 200 or something like that. Since
I know.
Yeah.
I checked.
I don't know where you are, that the sun is kind of coming in just perfectly, like around, or kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, or what?
I pulled my curtains back, lifted my blinds up, like to try and get all the light I
could. Oh man. Okay, cool. Well, we're down to looks like about just under 13,000 packs. So the line has started to move quite quickly. So we'll probably be on for another little bit. There's a couple more things I do want to cover while we still have time. Plunge, I do want you to chat really quick about some great tools that people can use. But very quickly before that, yesterday on the show, we had a few different people on to open some packs live, but there is one person that we actually missed. He and I actually miscoordinated on the time that we were going to do it. I said 8:30 Pacific, which was an hour after the show ended. So at 8:30, he was like, hey, he was like, I think I missed it. I was like, I'm sorry. I meant 5:30 Pacific. And he's going to come on with his family to kind of crack the pack. And what I really love about Top Shot, and again, Plunge, you brought up Block J opening the pack with his his mom. What I do love about Top Shot is people are getting involved with their families, right? We saw some videos last night on social as well, people opening it with their kids. Phil, your kid's got an account, and he's had one even from well before you did. And as we've discussed, even our moms on Top Shot. And it's really, I really love to see that. Secretly. Yeah, secretly. We don't know. We know she was definitely Pickle for a while, and then now she's probably moved on to some other sniper name since Pickle's banned. But no, what I'm saying is that I think that that's also a really cool part, because at the end of the day, despite all the flipping and all that kind of stuff, again, this is a collector's game, and the NBA is a global game. It is a family friendly game. And these days, it's really hard for families to go and enjoy the game because, obviously attendance is limited, and it's not necessarily the safest thing to go to the game wherever you are, depending where you are. So this has been such an interesting extra layer to add, that people can just enjoy this with their families, with their spouses, their kids, their parents, or whatever. And obviously, a lot of people saying that it's like, well, you're just getting your parents on it so that you can get extra accounts. But I don't think that that's necessarily true. I've seen a lot of people just bring on their dad or bring on their wife or their husband to be like, hey, like, no, let's do this together. And it's actually brought in a lot of people I find that are not actually necessarily haven't been hardcore basketball fans for the last little while, but are actually learning more about the game and about the players through Top Shot. So with me, I'm going to stop talking, but we have the Hayes family joining us, and like every other day on the podcast, let's give them a big round of applause. Woo!
Wow. This is a first, LG. This is a first.
We have a baby who's going to open a pack for us. This is by far a first ever, I think, ever in Top Shot.
Oh, D-Wade. Love that.
Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
And Mal's a Heat fan, so since she's opening the pack today, she won out on the jersey selection. So.
Wow.
Nice.
Very nice. Hayes family, tell us really quick your names and a little bit about yourselves and your life in Top Shot.
Sure.
My name is Mallory. I'm originally from Miami. I moved out to California. I met this guy, so I'm stuck out here. So I think my second favorite team will be the Lakers. So that's the deal. As long as his second favorite team is the Heat.
Yeah, we had a good NBA championship last year with the Lakers and the Heat. So
wow.
Fortunately, we won out.
Wow. Okay, very interesting.
My name's Nick. This is little Audrey here. She is just over 6 weeks old, so we're getting her into Top Shot pretty early.
Yeah.
This has to be a Top Shot first overall, not just on one of our streams or anything. We're a family all together with baby and dog in the room. We'll crack open a pack. Now, what's the dog's name? Is it a basketball related name?
And we've got two. One's down here. We've got Bruin and Benny. So
okay, all right.
Bruin like UCLA?
What's that?
Bruin like UCLA Bruins?
Yeah, we're a UCLA family here.
And Benny the Bull, who's made appearances on our show before, LG.
We're going to play that clip in a bit, man. That's coming up in a bit. We're going to have Benny the Bull on in a minute, but that's very cool. Then I think that's definitely a first. But the biggest question though is, how many burner accounts does the dog have? That's what I want to know. How many different? I mean, you just put, all right, Benny the dog and Benny Hayes, Bruce Hayes. How many different accounts do these dogs have?
Don't get him into trouble.
Yeah.
Can you ID check a dog? Does that work? Does a dog have a Very cool. So you guys were able to secure a pack yesterday morning. Is that right? In the first drop?
Yeah. Mal got in first. I think I was like 140,000 and she got in like 40,000 mark. So she lucked out for sure.
Okay. Now you guys got one, and it's time to crack it. Have you guys secured many packs in the past?
This is her, aside from the pre-order, this is her first. And then, I think I got one before this. Funny quick story. The reason I got into Top Shot was because of her. And the way that worked was just a couple of weeks ago, I started like right when the, big bull run, came out, and it was 4 a.m. I'm sitting in her room, dark corner, feeding her, reading Mark Cuban's article about when the $75,000 bronze bull. And I'm like, man, I got to look into this. And, so I'm sitting there feeding her on Top Shot, like looking on the marketplace. And, that's how it happened. And here I am.
Wow.
That's amazing. I like that. It's like literally just so ingrained in the Top Shot ecosystem that you're like reading the Cuban article and you're like, I got this baby, but we got to go open some packs. Right. I like that.
meant to be. It's TS is a family affair for sure.
I like it. Are you guys ready? Are you feeling good about cracking this pack?
Let me go ahead and
Yeah, I'll have to when you hit share screen, I'll have to let the screen in. I've just got to tweet this too that there's a baby on the stream now. Hold on.
For the first time ever.
For the first time ever. Okay. You know, it's funny too is that when we tweet out about rookies and stuff like that, we typically end up using the like baby bottle emoji. So that's been so now it's even more relevant than ever. We have a true Top Shot rookie on the stream with us. Oh, we got to talk about your collection after as well. We got to know what you guys have.
Yeah, so Mallory, of course, named her account after Audrey. So Audrey's Oro, and I mentioned this to you, LG. We started this account mainly for her as a little college fund. So hopefully,
that's very cool.
These guys,
529 account.
What's that? Oh yeah, exactly.
It's 529 account.
529 account.
But you know, at this rate, you'll secure college funds for your grandchildren and your grandchildren's children and everything, man. Like if you pull like a number 1 Giannis or something like that in your pack, like you guys are set forever.
Give me a single digit serial number and we'll pay for her graduate school too.
There you go,
man. Are there so before we get to the pack, are there any players specifically you guys are hoping for in this pack?
He asked me that, and I said, I want a Wade one. He's like, you can't have a Wade one.
Yeah, she said she wanted a Dwayne Wade. I said,
that'll come. I'm sure that'll come someday.
And for me, it's kind of like you just said, like pretty much any single digit. I'd love a single digit Zion, but we'll see what we get.
Very nice. Very nice. That's a great wish. That's a great wish to get a single digit Zion. Let's get into it, guys. Let's crack that pack.
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
So packs.
This is exciting stuff.
And you have to run the show.
Okay.
We had some pretty good ones last night opening packs. I mean,
man, with Matty Ice opened his number 25 Giannis. That was insane, man. He freaked out. I love seeing that.
I saw that last night. That's crazy.
Wow.
What's this music?
What is that?
I've never heard this music. Plunge, we're gonna be in another dance off here at Plunge.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I like this. This beat is good.
Yeah, the beat's good. Yeah, the beat's making me happy. Nobody reacted to the All right. Okay. All right. Come on.
All right.
Come on. It's okay.
Thanks, I'll be good.
All right. Well, next is the star, right? Next is the star.
Okay.
Okay. Bradley Beal's good, man. I like Bradley Beal.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, nice.
Scoring champion. That's dope.
Nice.
That's awesome. Very nice. Very nice. I have a buddy who's in the Plungers group that I'm in who has a bet with his friends that if Wendell Carter Jr. ever makes an All-Star game, he has to get his jersey tattooed on his body. So I'm really hoping that Wendell Carter Jr. makes an All-Star game so that Pat has to get that tattooed on his butt.
That is exciting, Plunge.
Well, there you go. And then Hayes family, let's hope that happens for your sake too, because in that moment,
that would be dope.
It'll be a tattoo on someone's ass, and you guys will have a valuable moment if Wendell Carter Jr. makes it. First thoughts, reactions. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Not bad. The Bradley Beal's good. Decent serial number, but we're happy. We're happy we got a pack.
Which team is Beal on in the All-Star game? You guys know?
He's on Team KD. He's on KD. Yeah,
I think he's on KD. Yeah.
So he's part of the challenge right now too. So if you guys you're not doing the challenge, right? That's not a bad idea to sell it, get those funds, and even like we were talking about earlier on the stream about it's always a good idea to use some of those new funds to then build a collection of players you do want, right, as well. So whether they're Heat players or they're Lakers players, like even if you like that Beal, you can trade it in a little bit, so to speak, for maybe some stuff you do.
Yeah.
And Hayes family, are you partaking in the drop tomorrow for the Rising Stars plus Seeing Stars plus Base Moments drop?
I think we have to. We might as well give ourselves a chance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I say it all the time. People say, "Well, is it going to be worth it?" I said, I don't think we've seen. It's been months. Sorry, since we've seen a day where packs are not worth it. If you're able, I tell new people this all the time. Don't ever be disappointed with what you get, because the ability to even get a pack right now, no matter what it is a huge win for anybody. Whether you're a veteran in Top Shot, whether it's your first pack ever, or you've just started out, it is worth something. And it's a lot better than the other 50 or 60 or 70 or 100,000 people who did not get one.
It's a free lottery ticket, you know. You might as
it really is. That's right.
Yeah,
agreed.
And it's a lot of fun. I mean, this is a great.
Makes basketball fun again.
Yeah, I was going to say the same.
Yeah, that's nice.
Games the other night, and it's like, you know, it brings the joy and the fun back to watching, you know, just an average game. It's great. It's a new frontier that we're in right now. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And even for me, you know, somebody who I do watch a lot of basketball, it's still always nice to watch games or watch players that I wouldn't otherwise watch.
Right.
Like I'm a Raptors fan, but I'm on the West Coast. So it's like if I'm watching Raptors games, they're going to be earlier in the day for me. And then otherwise I'll just catch, you know, maybe more of the marquee matchup out here if it's like the Blazers or Lakers playing people. But now it's like, now I get to learn a bit more about, like, you know, the different guys on Memphis or some of the other teams or the Pacers or whatever. Right. So it's just nice to kind of get a bit more of that well-rounded knowledge. Totally agree with you guys.
Like following quickly and Halliburton and some of these guys too. Like, I don't know if I would have really been that educated and kind of really cared much about them if it wasn't for Top Shot and like that quickly dunk the night. Like, there's been some highlights, some moments have really stood out, and I don't think I would have really cared if it wasn't for Top Shot.
Wow.
Something else. So
that's amazing. Very cool. Well, Hayes family, it's been great to have you on. I'm glad we made this work. Sorry for missing you last night.
No.
I'm glad you guys are here and you got a pretty decent pack. So all the best with your trading strategy from here. And we'll try to have you guys on again. Maybe as the first mint grows and Top Shot keeps growing, we'll have Audrey back for different I don't know, birthdays or something like that.
Every year. Yeah, exactly. We'll see how that.
24 months jersey, because my brother got it for her and said that he wanted her to remember. He said his youngest memory was around 2, so he said he wanted her to remember the jersey. So that's why it's 24 months.
I got her a Kobe jersey too, but I think that Dwayne Wade's going to stick with her for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think.
And you may see younger Wade in the league at some point, and you may be able to buy his moment before you're able to buy a Dwayne Wade moment.
Yeah, she's going to be watching Little Wade soon.
Really
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome, guys.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome. Well, Hayes family, it's been great to have you. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Big fans. Keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you around.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Wow. Okay,
wow,
man.
I
was flying, man. We had Jacob come in, drop some Jacob bombs, and now we got a baby on the stream.
That's incredible.
Now we're back to here. I need a little breath after that. Let's go around the horn. How you guys feeling? Plunge, I do want to get to some of your tools and all that kind of stuff in a minute.
Yeah.
But Tamara, Phil D, how you guys feeling after our first breaking? We got the baby on. We're deep into the pack drop so far. We're near the end. How you guys feeling on this pack drop Saturday morning? Not marathon. Let's call it 10K on the Saturday morning pack drop.
I don't run. It's not in my repertoire.
You just plunge, right? Yeah.
Tamara, how you feeling over there? I started to kind of pick on you with the map behind you, but I am kind of curious about that, and I actually kind of wanted to dig into that about your map obsession.
I don't know where it came from. This is also my childhood bedroom. Like when I was living in New York, I did not have any maps on the wall. But I have 3 in here, and I had a globe that I just donated to Goodwill. I have like a US map, and then a world map, and then a world facts map. I sound like the biggest nerd ever right now, but that's okay.
Did you have a Geo Safari? Did you ever have that Geo Safari thing? Do they have those in Canada?
I don't know. I don't even know.
I don't think Tamara's in Canada, first of all, Plunge.
I'm in Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah. But I like to
What
play
is going on?
GeoGuessr sometimes. Also,
there's some crazy people on GeoGuessr that like guys that can get within like 2 meters of the exact spot in like 5 minutes. It's unreal.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
They see a picture and they're like, "Oh, it's Croatia." And I'm like, "You see trees? How do you know? Like, how do you know you're in Croatia?"
That's like last night. People thought the picture on our stream, which was of Saskatchewan, Canada, there was a debate in the chat that it was actually in Ohio. I'm like, first of all, there's a huge moose at the front. Okay. Second of all, there's a Canadian airplane with Canadian flags on it in the back. I don't think there's a Canadian airplane with a massive moose anywhere in Ohio, to be honest with you. So it is interesting. People could go on and on about geography all day with that kind of stuff.
I kind of like that though. I kind of like. Sorry, I'm just going to pull up. I have this photo ready. I'm just going to pull it up just to go back to this moose. Here's the moose we're talking about.
I mean, there was a huge debate that this was in Ohio. I don't even know where somebody came up with that. There must be something similar in Ohio that looks like this, but I just don't know,
man. This thing is. I've been to that statue, and it is literally like 3 stories tall. Like it's enormous. And there's a gate around it. If you see there's a gate around it because it's dangerous. Because once I was trying to say this on the stream last night that when they built it, they didn't build it properly, and the wind blew off the moose's jaw. But it's in a town called Moose Jaw. Like it's a place called Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. It's called Moose Jaw actually, not because of a moose. Jaw. It's actually Moose Caw, which is like a gust of wind in the indigenous people's language for Saskatchewan. So it's actually literally like the pioneers that came and then just misunderstood the term and then called it Moose Jaw and not Moose Caw. But for some reason they're like, let's build a giant moose here anyways. So anyways, the jaw fell off.
Content.
I'm just telling you, this is like the jaw fell off this moose when they built it, and that's why there's a fence. So you can't actually even touch it. I
can imagine people wanting to climb it and like take pictures on it too.
Yeah,
like
graffiti it or like whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know how we got from Tamara's maps all the way to this moose jaw.
Well, it's part of the map, right? I mean,
geography.
But I'm just looking at this GeoGuessr thing, and this to me seems like something that could eventually one day be like an NFT project. Like that could be some kind of Top Shot style, like collecting thing, right? And I think that's actually what's really interesting. And Tamara, this is why I wanted to ask you is like anybody who's a collector of other stuff, to me is like, well, you should keep a really close eye on other stuff that's happening in NFT land because clearly Top Shot has struck that chord for like collectors. If anything, just any kind of collectors like interested in this. So from the map world as well, you could end up seeing something in this space, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some crazy things.
Where to go with that? Yeah,
like come through as NFTs. I'm like, what? Like we're making everything in NFTs. So
some things don't need to be NFTs, but I will say that like after seeing some of the other stuff out there, it's like there's some things that just like don't need to be it. There are some things that it's a really cool application and concept, but there's some stuff that just like let's just like keep it how it is. We don't really need to make that an NFT.
We've seen a lot of those examples on the Friday live show, things that don't necessarily need to be NFTs, but are anyways, right?
Right.
We've seen a few examples of that.
I've got a good topic, and I'd like to hear from all of you, if you don't mind me taking over this and asking you. I want to hear about all your, whether you have one or not, your basketball careers growing up. It could be on the schoolyard. It could be playing at recess in gym class, high school, college, whatever it is. If you didn't even play anything but NBA Jam or something like that, whatever, NBA 2K, it doesn't matter. I want to hear about your careers in basketball. Tamara's ready to jump through this.
I have to correct Tamara.
It's Tamara, guys. It's not Tamara. Okay? I don't know where you guys are getting at. It's not like
somebody said that. I followed the trend. Somebody said that earlier. Okay, I'm sorry.
I just want to point something out before. Tamara, before you answer, I just want to point out there's 1,500 packs left, so we are going to wrap out soon. And then for anybody else listening, there is another pack drop tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. It's the Rising Stars one. There's like 32,000 packs. So again, not everybody's going to get one, but that is an amazing pack. All the Rising Stars in there. Some of them, that's their first moment. So that's definitely be worth a lot. Plus you got all the staple rookie guys like Lamelo and Tyrese. And then you also have Zion in there. Zion's in there. So you have another Zion moment coming. So there's a lot of great stuff in there. So make sure you are back here on NBA Top Shot tomorrow, 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern to try and get a spot in that queue, get randomized into it. I'm just going to say that because we're just going to go for a couple more minutes here. But as soon as it's sold out, we will be wrapping up. Let's go back. First, basketball in your youth. Tamara, tell us about it.
I actually didn't like basketball until I went to Duke, which is hilarious. I was a big like college football person. And I watched the NFL a lot, but I mean, I went to Duke, so how can you not like get wrapped up in that? Yeah, exactly. So I didn't go to that many games my freshman year, and freshman year was the championship year, so ridiculous. But I was like a confused freshman, and I was broke, so like I couldn't afford to like travel to any of the away games or anything like that. But then my second year, I went to every home game, and I slept in a tent. You know, like the Duke students, they sleep in tents.
Cameron crazies. So Tamara, you're one of the Cameron crazies, is what you're saying. That is so wild.
Days and weeks in the cold, and I got sick so many times. It was awful, but it's all worth it.
Have you heard about the tenting process at Duke and how it works? It's the most bizarre and crazy thing in the world. You think lining up for Top Shot packs is like they have to like sleep in shifts. They're like there 24/7. I didn't go to Duke, but I know plenty of people that did, and it's bizarre.
I've been to a lot of Ohio State games when I lived in Columbus, and it wasn't like that. It was a good atmosphere, but there was no lining up. I mean, it was easy to get tickets. No matter who was on the team, Mike Conley at the time, whatever, it was easy to get tickets. But I feel there's more to this story, so we'll continue listening to what you've got to say.
So I tented for 2 years, and then I joined the student group that was like in charge of it all.
Okay.
So I now became the person that would go wake people up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., like with the bullhorn. Like checking to make sure people were actually in their tent and doing their shifts like they said they would. And it was just really fun. Like I used to be the one to like greet the students when they first came in, and then I turned to the job where I can like pack the students in the stands just so I wanted to watch all the warm-ups because that's always really fun. Like getting in there like 2 hours before the game and, you know, talking to the players sometimes. I brought some props with me. I'll be really quick.
Some props?
So I like to collect things. And these are all of my like student.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
From all of my games. Is this a UNC one? This is my senior year UNC one. It has like blue paint on it.
Wait, hold on. Did you just have these just waiting to show on the screen?
Yes.
Or do you always have them with you?
I
always have them with you.
In my childhood bedroom.
Okay. Well, hold on. This brings the question. If we were to bring someone like RJ Baird or any other Duke player, your favorite Duke player of all time, would you be willing to offer all of those for that player to come on here and gift you I guess
their own moment or something like that?
Or is that something you're holding on to and you're never letting go of that?
No, I'm keeping this. A lot of like sleepless nights, tears, blood, tears, and so I'm keeping all of these, some wristbands in there. And
even if it was a Zion hire, if Zion Williamson came on and said, I'll give you a jersey number 1 Zion Hollow, you're not giving it up?
I would give it up.
Okay, you would give it.
Yes, I would give them up for that.
Okay.
Yes.
We should get Josh Hart on here, see if he's interested in those.
He went to Nova. He doesn't care about Duke.
It doesn't matter. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I think there's like 45 maybe or 50.
Oh, wow.
God.
That's impressive. Have you ever met Coach K before? I mean, you must have after all that. Or was that not a thing?
I might have said things before. Like, definitely spent a lot of time around him.
Right.
Yeah,
like, He used to give talks like before the UNC game or big games for people that were out like spending the night in the tent. So that was really fun. Like he bought Cookout milkshakes for Cable once. I don't know if you guys know what Cookout is. It's like one of the best fast food chains of all time. So, you know, it's like small stuff like that. Yeah. It's very southern, but just like small things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. Wow. And LG Plunge, were either one of you guys big high school or college basketball players?
Are we close to the end of the drop here?
It doesn't have to be a novel. Just tell us the story, Plunge. Tell us your basketball stories, your basketball diaries.
I was terrible at basketball. I went to Catholic grade school growing up, and CYO was kind of the organization of, you know, basketball in my area. So I think I started playing in like 4th grade through 8th grade. I was always on the B team. I never made the A team. I was always the second guy, you know, like we had a pretty good like elementary school team that I was not a part of, and players that played AAU. But I was scrappy, I was fast, but I couldn't shoot. Although I did win a Knights of Columbus free throw competition one time, so that's like the highlight of my basketball career. But beyond that, I was more of a soccer, baseball guy.
That's awesome. LG, you have anything to throw in?
Well, Phil D, like you were there through my.
Yeah, we played in the same backyard. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know that. I didn't play that much basketball. We had a hoop in the backyard, but it was kind of a small part of the backyard, so it was kind of hard to play. But we put it low enough that we could both dunk on it, so that made us feel good. I'm sure it made us feel like big guys,
Yeah, no, for sure.
But Phil, you were pretty good at basketball, I think, in high school.
I played some basketball. I preferred that over volleyball, but I think my claim to fame was a couple years ago when I won a contest with a promotional thing here in Toronto, and I got to be a Toronto Raptor for a day, and I got to bring one of my friends with me, and we both got to go to the Scotiabank Arena. They gave us the actual Raptors locker room, all that stuff. And I got to play on a team. We got to play on a court and spend a whole day there. And I got to play in a real game where they make the announcements, where the PA guys there announcing every player, our hometowns. We had official jerseys, uniforms, everything. And I got to play against a team coached by Nick Nurse. And I'll tell you right now, this was coming off the championship that the Raptors had won. And we beat Nick Nurse's team by about 40, and he was not happy. He is competitive. He is competitive no matter what it is. And we're talking, there were like some 60, 70-year-old men and women in this game because it was all promotion winners. But it was that. But we were, I mean, the two of us were actually some of the better players there, and we hit a couple of NBA threes. I'll always be proud of that. We hit a couple of NBA threes. We scored quite a few points. We led our team to victory. And we felt like Raptors for a day. So a very cool promotion that, kind of a once in a lifetime type of deal.
Here we go.
Oh God, here we go.
I found your tweets.
How do you pull this stuff up, man? I was talking smack to Nick the entire time. And I told him after, I go, you go from winning a championship to coaching one of the worst teams of your entire life.
Let's see what
and
else.
That was
there
it
we
right
go. Here we go. This is nice. This is really nice. You got to do that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. There you go.
Really
Cool. Set at the top.
That's right.
It's the wrong name. It should say Philippe.
Yeah, we don't know who Philippe is. That guy's like that's that crazy. It's like Manny Tanner in Full House. We know Danny Tanner, but we don't know who Manny Tanner is. That guy's just look at this.
What?
Look at this. This is the pregame announcements. Look at that. Look at this guy. Wow. I've got plenty of videos.
Oh, you're obsessed, man.
All sorts of stuff, man. And I even reproduced the Kawhi Leonard 3 from Game 7 against Philadelphia, but I did it from the wrong corner in the arena. So I don't know if it still counts, but what an experience. Like, seriously, that was the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And
there we go.
Yeah, very, very cool experience that, again, you'll probably never get to experience something like that again. Got to meet Rondé Hollis Jefferson. He was there to speak to us and kind of guide us through it. But Nick Nurse coming in the locker room before the game, unexpected. Everything was a surprise. We didn't even know we were getting jerseys with our names and all that. Very cool. He looks excited there to be coaching a team of scrubs. But also former NHL player Steve Moore was one of the players on my team. And I didn't even know that until after. Nice. So very cool stuff. That's my claim to fame in basketball. Other than that, I'm a pure outdoor player. I play in my driveway all the time. And my son is now bigger than I am, so I don't win too many games.
That's fair. Just very quickly, we got about 500 packs here, so we're going to wrap up in a couple minutes. I do want to quickly go over the blog post that Top Shot has put out that Jacob mentioned that he published a couple minutes ago or a couple minutes before. So as usual, this kind of details just everything around Rising Stars. And they kind of go over them Top Shot revealing those rosters, as well as highlighting that there's going to be 32,740 packs loaded with moments, and that each of those Rising Stars will be one of 2021. So there will be 2021 LE to match the year. Again, 2:00 Pacific. Tomorrow is the time. A very interesting wrinkle in this blog post is this line right here. This pack will only be available for purchase to accounts that have already started their Top Shot collection and own at least one moment in their collection at the time of the drop. So if you're somebody who's been collecting packs and you've kept them unopened, then you will not be able to enter this drop unless you maybe even just open that pack and have it in there. But for anybody who has collections on Top Shot that have 0 moments, know that you will not be able to open that. The obvious reason here being is that they're trying to curtail how many bots there are, how many people have like 15 burner accounts. And the other thing too is between now and then, gifting has been disabled. So so for people, Phil, for your like 26 burner accounts, you can't just send them from your main one to all your burners.
You mean all the
not gonna be able to do that.
And all that?
You're gonna have to go into your burner and buy one with a credit card, which will probably also out you because you'll be using one of your normal credit cards that you use on another account. Whatever. This is a very interesting measure. It might catch some people off guard who maybe have started but haven't been able to buy a pack or get a moment yet. But again, there are a lot of very affordable moments on the marketplace right now due to the new influx of stuff. So that shouldn't be too hard if you want to go out as soon as the marketplace opens back up, which shouldn't be too long after the drop. You will be able to buy a moment if you haven't been able to get one yet. Again, that's just to be eligible for tomorrow.
I wanted to tell Jacob we need a countdown for when the marketplace reopens. Like it's like Black Friday. You know, at 7 a.m. the doors opening.
Yes.
You can't just reopen right after without telling anybody. Let us know that you got 2 minutes. Here it goes. Countdown, and then boom, the door's open. I would love that. I want some kind of countdown. Heads up. Let us know the market's opening. Because I end up missing all
Black Friday. Like nobody enjoys that. I don't want to know exactly when it's much. It's like,
I do.
I
didn't get a pack. Don't forget, I didn't get a pack this weekend.
That's true.
And also very quickly for those, and this is a question we get all the time, when you want to know what is in the pack drop, you can it'll be linked in the actual blog post. So here you can see a view complete list of every moment available in these packs, but also on the actual pack drop page. And even just here looking at the Seeing Stars, if you scroll down in the bottom right here, there is view a complete list, and where it will bring you to this very nice Google Excel doc of different moments that are going to be included in that pack. And people always ask me, like, how do you know this? How do you know what's going on? This is how I see it. Everybody can see it. So this is where it'll show all the different moments that are going to be featured in that pack or in that pack drop and how many of each one. So if we go to tomorrow's drop, to Rising Stars, and this is also kind of a nice reveal people might not know, we go to complete list again, we'll see that in each of these packs, there's going to be one of these Rising Stars, and all of them are in there. All the number ones, everything's going to be in there, including number one Lamelo, number one Wiseman,
wow.
Loaded pack. But also Seeing Stars, there's going to be one. Each pack will have one of the Seeing Stars in it as well. Cool. So this is a loaded pack again, and then as well the base pack. The base set details, same kind of list again, but you can see how many different ones are going to be included in there. So that's just a little bit of info for those who are new to the pack drop experience. That's how you find the list. What's coming up, guys? We just got a couple more minutes. Plunge, I do want to get to you. If you can give us like a quick 2-3 minute breakdown of some of the tools that you love to use for people to kind of help analyze the moments they have, or they analyze the moments that they want to purchase. We'd love to get a sense from you, just kind of what you like to use.
All right, let me know when you're seeing me.
There we go. We got you.
Awesome. So I'm going to go through breakneck speed, a couple different tools that are out there that third-party groups have developed to analyze the Top Shot market outside of what exists on the NBA Top Shot site. So the first one is guys that are near and dear to our hearts, the evaluate.market guys. And LG, if you wouldn't mind putting that link directly into the chat, that'd be awesome, just so folks can access it. But the homepage for evaluate.market is going to give you high-level snapshot of the market as a whole. So this first graph that you see here along the bottom, the x-axis of the graph, you're seeing dates over time for the last month or so, and then on the y-axis is the daily sales. So you can see this massive peak right here, and just hovering over the top of that. That was that one day, February 23rd, which I think was a Saturday or a Friday night, where we had that massive user growth, and a lot of moments were exchanging at very high valuations. So we did $46 million in sales that day. You'll see this uptick in the last couple days, right? This 31,000 transactions that have happened over the last 24 hours or so. And that uptick there, that is direct result of the drop, right? So a lot more people are getting packs, a lot more people are buying and selling. So we get a lot of transactions with that as well. You can also see sort of the market cap. And again, market cap is the low ask of particular moments, and then multiplied by the amount of those moments that are out there. So if you sold every single moment right now at the low ask, this is how much money would be in the market as a whole. So just over $1.5 billion, which is crazy. So by far the biggest one of that is the base set in Series 1. After that, you get some of the metallic gold as well as the run it back, which are 2 or 3 of the really, really big ones, because there's lots of moments and they're going for a very high price right now. Additionally, you can see the leaderboards for the highest account values. And again, this account value is based on lowest ask. There are some concerns with how that is derived because not everybody can liquidate everything at the exact same moment. And a lot of especially things that are very, very rare, have very high, low asks that may not be realistic in terms of what could actually be garnered for them in the moment. But it's at least a good indication of what your individual account balance might be. So you can actually see that. So, and I'll just show you guys my account right here. So I just hopped over up in the top, there's an account value tab. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in mine. I'll show the PlungeFather account, and you'll see my account value right here, as well as it's sorted by the current lowest ask for each moment. So
top 1% Plunge. Wow.
What's that?
You're making revelations again here. Top 1%. Holy.
Yeah, so we've done pretty well on this one. Kevin Garnett was our best purchase, and we got it at $1,500. And right now, the low ask for this is $9,899. Wow. At one point, and I'll go ahead. Or sorry, I'm not going to go into Top Shot and do this. I'm going to go back and go into the evaluate piece of it. We'll look at the sales data. So this is going to jump me into that specific moment that I'm looking at to look at some stats about it, right? So what is the current low ask? What is the circulation of this thing over in the right-hand side? How many unique owners there are, right? So there's 275 of these, but there's still 26 of them in packs. The true ownership out there in the wild is 250. And there are only 176 unique owners, which means that at least 75 people have more than one of these Kevin Garnetts, likely some of the OGs. But when you start scrolling down into here, you can see the sales price trends over time. And you'll see right around that same spike that we saw earlier on in that February 22nd, 23rd, 24th range, where all of those transactions were amounting to a very significant number of and volume of sales. We saw that the sales trend for this particular moment just tick up and up and up and up. And within this tool, one of the coolest things about these tools is that you can actually zoom in on them and look at particular areas. So I'm just going to drag and drop over the top of it, and you can get a closer zoomed in view over time and sort of see the trajectory of these things as they tick up.
What's the website, Plunge? Some people want to follow on the website. What's the website again?
I posted it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Evaluate.market is the one here.
Perfect.
And the guys in there, they're awesome. They've been working on a lot of different stuff, both in terms of both your account value elements. They have an account history that you can utilize so that you can get the kind of real plus minus of the elements that you're making, as well as some set data as well. One of the other ones that I want to highlight really quickly as well for rookies specifically is another guy that runs this. His name is Steve, or at least that's his handle, rookshot.market. He's also part of the First Mint family, and he runs a site that's more specifically focused on rookie data and the rookies in general. And I'll show you this visualization. It's the coolest one, I think, that we see. So this is the average sale of the S2 rookies. Again, over time, you're seeing January 15th up here, all the way to March 6th. I'm going to go ahead and replay this, and you can sort of see where these rookies take off from one another. You see Lamelo sort of in that February 20th range, just hit that massive spike, even faster than some of the other spikes of these other players. And now that we've got Emmanuel quickly right here that joined into the fracas last night, right away, sort of starting at that $2,000 price point, but immediately after some of those initial sales, kind of settling in just below Tyrese Halliburton, like we talked about last night, and just above James Wiseman and Anthony Edwards. So depending on the way the rest of the year goes, we will see this sort of play out over time. Again, these are the Series 2 rookies, all of the rookies in the 2020 and 21 season. LaMelo Ball currently at that $4,000 price point, all the way down to, I think the lowest is Sam Merrill, $44. I think he's back up on the Bucks now. He was in the G League for a little bit as well. So those are two sites that I utilize pretty frequently. I can talk for longer about other sites as well. Are we at that spot where I can keep going, or are we getting close to that?
The pack is sold out, so we are gonna move on. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
All right, go ahead and take it back.
There you go.
That was pretty cool. That was like a horse race type of deal, like or when you follow stuff like that online. That was really cool.
Yeah, I love it. Plunge, thanks for that breakdown. And guys, if you want more of that, follow PlungeFather on Twitter. Follow Steve on Twitter, follow Chugs and Bugs, and follow Greg_Murray. All great analysts in the First Mint network. And then, yeah, that site you want to check out is evaluate.market. They also have a Twitter account. We're going to wrap up here today. Give everybody on the stream a hand of applause. Okay, you know what? Let's just do it one more time. All right. Give everybody here a big follow on Twitter. You can follow Tamara Top Shot on Twitter. You can follow The Real Phil D, and then you can follow me, LG Doucette, and also at The First Mint. That's going to do it for us today. If you got a pack today, congratulations. If you're in the same boat as The Real Phil D, better luck next time. Maybe you'll have some luck tomorrow on the Rising Stars pack drop. But either way, maybe you pre-ordered and you'll get one next week, which we discovered is still on track for next week. We had a lot of great firsts. It was Jacob's first ever appearance on the First Mint tonight, and we also had a baby open their first pack, probably the youngest person who's on Top Shot, 6 weeks old, and a dog as well. The dog was there, Benny the dog or whatever it was. Everybody who came on the stream, thank you so much for running this this stream 10K with the First Mint. Tamara, it's been great to have you on the show and have you make your First Mint debut. We'll have to have you back. And Phil D, Plunge, a pleasure as always. This is back-to-back days that we're on, and we'll be back next Friday, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the First Mint YouTube channel for our regular live show. Otherwise, enjoy the weekend and enjoy the All-Star game tomorrow.
Yeah.